I'm Doug Brown. Jets team doctors will not clear quarterback Mike White for Sunday's game against the Lions with fractured ribs. That means Zach Wilson will get the start after being inactive for the last 3 weeks. It's now bowl season. First up today, the Hometown Lenders Bahamas Bowl, UAB with the ball. Less than 2 minutes to play.
They'll run with Jermaine Brown Jr. in the backfield. Dylan Hopkins is in the shotgun. Two tight ends coming near side left. Hopkins hands off Brown. Brown's going to waltz into the end zone for the touchdown. Jermaine Brown Jr., the 12-yard run, his second of the game. UAB's back in front.
Kevin Winter on ESPN Radio. Miami's last drive of the game stopped on the 2-yard line. UAB wins it 24-20. Right now on ESPN TV, 24th ranked Troy and number 25 UT San Antonio about to kick off in the Duluth Trading Cure Bowl. Pistons guard Cade Cunningham had surgery today for a stress fracture in his left leg. He's expected to make a full recovery, but will miss the rest of the season.
Coming up on Monday, the Packers still have an outside chance of making the playoffs, but will this be the last chance for Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay? We'll discuss that on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Monday morning, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into a Football Friday here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go, live or on demand. It doesn't matter. I mean, you probably don't want to do it, in church or anything, but, you can do it if you want to on the iHeartRadio app. And you can see us everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on that live video link. Subscribe to the channel. Get into the chat with us here. Help, make your picks today. We are going to be unveiling the movies that are going to be in the Merry Madness tournament. We got Chief Zack coming in at 4 o'clock to play Beat the Chief. It's a Football Friday, Jeremy.
And you know what my prevailing takeaway is?
What?
The Seattle Seahawks are done like Thanksgiving dinner.
Why are you always going to start with the negative?
Well, I can tell you the positive. The San Francisco 49ers are terrifying.
Oh, 100%.
And that the double pump fake from Brock Purdy showed you exactly why. Do you honestly think he would have ever called that for Trey Lance?
No.
Would he ever have called that for Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah.
No. Now you've got a limited quarterback that's allowing Kyle Shanahan's little devious mind to conspire all of these offensive techniques. Yep, that should be just terrifying for anybody in the NFC, Philadelphia Eagles included.
It's already been mentioned in the comments on the YouTube stream. How about that Kittle spark? Finally.
If you're in fantasy football and you've sustained with George Kittle, he just rewarded you in the first round of the playoffs with his biggest game of the year.
Yeah, pretty much all the entire season as a George Kittle owner has been like the dude with the stick. Just do something. Do something.
Yeah, he did something last night.
He did something last night. 2 touchdowns in the win for the San Francisco 49ers over the Seattle Sea Chickens. And, the 49ers are happy right now. They've clinched the division. They're in the playoffs. They can still challenge for the 2 seed. Probably will overtake Minnesota for the 2 seed if I had to wager money on it. And also very happy today are the Detroit Lions.
Because Seattle, much like your friend at a bar at 1 a.m., is fading fast.
Uh-huh. And our offense has been terrifying the last few weeks, and you just dropped Zach Wilson in my lap. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not as sure that is I've heard a lot of Jet fans today. A lot of gnashing of teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Later in this hour, I'm going to tell you why I'm not so sure that you should be doing that.
What?
The gnashing of teeth of, oh, no, we're back to Zach Wilson. We suck again. I'm not so sure that's how I would be looking at that.
Really? Well, I can't wait to find out what this new investment in hope is.
Oh, my tinfoil hat's in the desk drawer.
Here
Have no fear. It's going on about 3:35.
All right, we will get into all of it right here in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. It's time for the opening drive. Okay, so I mean, what was I too on the San Francisco side of this game? I mean, I thought it was going to be a beatdown.
Yeah, that went exactly how I told you. The only thing I missed was, man, Vegas is good. Over under 44. Final score 44.
Nice.
Vegas doesn't make mistakes.
I thought this was going to be a bloodletting. The Seahawks.
It could have been.
The Seahawks showed some fire down the stretch. See, that's
had
the
they
thing,
not pulled an interception off the board on just a marshmallow puff, diddly poo roughing the passer, this would have been the bloodletting that you thought it was going to be. Because that was San Francisco sitting on the 2-yard line up 21-3.
I'll be honest with you, I was shocked. I couldn't hang for the whole game, and when I woke up this morning, I was shocked that it did not get out of hand because it felt like it was going that way.
I never for 1 second thought Seattle was going to win last night.
No, sir. It was never in doubt.
And Christian McCaffrey, dog. Carolina. I just want to hear from Carolina Panther fans exclusively. Did last night hurt or make you feel warm and fuzzy?
Warm and fuzzy.
I'm going to lean the other way.
No. I really don't. Look, you feel this way when you are a member or when you're a fan of a team that is forever downtrodden. You should know this. I mean, if a guy has been wasting his years on your team and he goes to get a chance to compete for a Super Bowl, you have to feel good about that, right? You have to feel warm and fuzzy for him.
No, I don't think you do.
You don't do that?
No.
Really?
No, I watched last night and went, that's the Geno Smith that I've known 2 times at West Virginia and with the New York Jets. I remember that guy. I remember him well. Yeah, I don't feel warm and fuzzy. All good for Geno. Yeah, no, you're still the same guy I watched haunt my nightmares for 2 years. Congratulations.
But you don't ever have that. You don't ever have that player that leaves your team, does well, and you're like, oh, that's good for him.
No.
Really?
No.
You're just a horrible person.
I'm very cult leader that way. Of once you are banished out into the world, dead to me.
Okay, I guess I can't say the same. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe most Carolina Panthers fans are butthurt about this. I don't know why you would be, because you were literally wasting the prime of his career. So
Kyle Shanahan's not wasting it.
No, absolutely not.
Kyle Shanahan, I feel like at this point is Dr. Jekyll. Just sitting in the lab going, ooh, what can I make now? The double pump fake is one of the best calls I think I've ever seen because it played itself out for the rest of the night. That's something Seattle does constantly. Double high safety. So you move the safety one way, move the other safety another way, and the waters part for George Kittle. And for the rest of the night, virtually anything Brock Purdy did on the outside, there was a hesitation from the safety. And I feel like now, this kind of goes to what I was saying earlier in the week of, I'm not sure San Francisco's not better with a mediocre quarterback. Because Kyle Shanahan now feels like he has to schematically beat you. I don't have the quarterback that athletically is going to beat you. And I said the Tom Brady thing yesterday. I thought that was very obviously hyperbole. Apparently it wasn't, because I got 7 Twitter messages last night of, you called it, West Coast Tom Brady, Brock Purdy. Oh, no. Oh, no. That was a joke. I couldn't put a laughing face at the end of it because it wasn't a text message. That was a joke. He's a good fit for this offense.
Mm-hmm.
I think he does things on time. They lean much more on Christian McCaffrey. I don't see this as a negative. Now, I mean, if you want me to piddle in the punch bowl, you got out to a lead, and then you just kind of stayed there. The officials had a little hand in that, but that San Francisco team's really impressive.
Mm-hmm. And they're not going to lose another game.
They could. They could
so?
lose another game.
You think so?
They could lose to the Commanders, and it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
That Commander defense is markedly better than what you saw last night.
Sure. I mean, and it's all.
I mean, are they going to lose to the Raiders or the fighting Cliff Kingsburys? No. Even if they're rest players, I'm really not afraid of you losing to either one of those two teams.
I feel pretty confident that this team will be 13-4 going forward.
And the 2 seed in the NFC.
They stay healthy. They're the 2 seed in the NFC, and we're going to get the crash course. The collision course will come true. Philadelphia Eagles.
San Francisco 49ers.
And the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game.
I don't think I've ever been more sure of the last two teams left in any playoffs ever.
Mm-hmm. I just don't see a path for anybody else in the NFC beating these two teams.
Well, especially if San Francisco's the 2. I mean, because that means Philadelphia will have to win one game. They'll get the bye. They'll catch the lowest seed, which means they're either going to see the Lions, the Commanders, maybe the Cowboys. I highly doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that.
No, the Dallas Cowboys.
You will all get smoked by Philadelphia, and they'll walk into the NFC title game.
I was going to say, the Dallas Cowboys will probably end up having to play these 49ers, and that's going to be special.
They would need Minnesota to lose. But
you don't think that's going to happen?
Well, Minnesota would have to lose in the first round for them to play San Francisco. Because that would mean San Francisco had to lose for them to.
Mm-hmm. And if Minnesota played Detroit or Washington, there's a chance.
I love how much the public narrative. When we pick games, there are a couple games where I'm looking at this going, it's so funny to me. I've been gambling heavyweight for probably 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
It still makes me laugh how Vegas manipulates the common gambler on a weekly basis, and they never figure it out. This is the reason shows like The Sopranos happen, because you get the Joe Daly who ends up in debt to everybody, and they have to keep breaking his thumbs or blacking his eyes because he won't pay.
Right.
There's a reason. There's 2 games, and I know your picks. I don't know Chief Zack's. I know yours.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you fell into one of these traps.
Okay.
And I think it's so funny. Not that you fell into it. It makes sense your way. It's just such a trap.
Okay. All right.
I felt a little bit last night was a trap. And for about 4 minutes, I thought, the backdoor cover's coming. The backdoor cover's coming. Vegas was right. But no.
That game was never in doubt. San Francisco 49ers, I will apologize to the Seahawks fans that like our show, Divine Comedy. I'm sorry. I talked so much smack about you losing by 30, and it didn't happen. But you were dominated.
So you're apologizing?
Yes.
I don't do that. I especially don't do that before I talk smack about your team, which is what I'm going to do in the next segment.
Okay.
Because I've been inundated by Seattle Seahawks fans of, you undervalue us. You just don't get it. We're really good at blah, 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 blah. And you're better than we thought, but the league has figured you out. I saw it last night. D'Amico Ryans was toying with Geno Smith. He looked like a cat playing with a mouse that it had already killed. Just move! I want you to move again! And I feel like that's what teams are going to do with him for the rest of the year. And it changes a lot about the 2023 NFL Draft. because I feel much different today than I did 3 weeks ago.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville on a Football Friday.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
The Ingles Advantage isn't just about savings or the best quality food for your family. It's more than that. It's the advantage of being a part of a community. That's why we provide over 2 million pounds of food every year through regular donations and programs like the Ingles Giving Tree, Food for Thought, and the Ingles Fill a Backpack program. It's the right thing to do, and we know that you would do the same. Ingles.
In the past year, I've lost more than 90 pounds with the PhD weight loss program. PhD has helped me learn healthy nutrition. They've helped me learn a better way to live, how to get more sleep, how to get more active, and obviously how to put only the good things into my body. I never thought there would be a program out there that could give me the kind of results that I have seen with Dr. Ashley Lucas in this program.
I did not have a ton of weight to lose. I had just gotten very lazy in my food choices, and I got a little, say, chunky. In just under a year on PhD, I have gone from one of the highest weights I've ever seen back to my high school weight, and I've slid all the way into a brand new wardrobe thanks to the planning program of PhD Weight Loss.
And if you're like me and you struggle sometimes to find motivation, that's why they have a group of dedicated health coaches that will not only help you out with the problems that you're having, but they will help keep you motivated throughout the process. It's myphdweightloss.com.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Mom, Dad, let's talk.
Before you know it, I'm out of here.
I want to go to college.
Or start a business. My allowance ain't gonna cut it. Ooh, sorry I said ain't.
The UNEST app puts smart investing tools right in the palm of your hand. And with the UNEST gifting link, friends and family can contribute to your child's account. Start investing today. Download the UNEST app from the App Store or Google Play. See terms and conditions at unest.co. That's unest.co.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
Sportsocracy.
Some good, clean family fun there, eh, God?
It is a Football Friday, and last night we had Thursday night football.
You don't do it right. Leave that to me. Thursday night football.
There you go. 49ers beating the Seahawks 21-13. And Jeremy has a theory.
It's not a theory. It's you can listen to me or you can not, and if you don't, you're going to regret it. You can bring back Geno Smith for a year.
Mm-hmm.
That number 2 pick, 3 pick, wherever it ends up for the Denver Broncos, damn well better be a quarterback. Because if you don't, you'll regret it for a decade. I don't care who. I don't care if it's Will Levis. I don't care if it's C.J. Stroud. I mean, not Anthony Richardson, but I feel like if you've listened to the show for any period of time, you already knew that. You better get the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not going to be here again. And very rarely do I ever see a team that is playing itself into purgatory. Seattle can do that if they're not careful. Geno Smith is grossly limited. You saw it last night. DeMeco Ryans toyed with him. If you take the interception that was an interception, You can say that was rough in the passer on Joey Bosa until you're blue in the face. I'm never going to hear you because it's not. And that would have been scattered, smothered, covered, chunked, diced, and chopped.
Mm-hmm.
He toyed with him. He knew what he would do because he knows he only gets 2 reads. It's not because Geno's not a smart guy. It's the offense on the whole because this is what you have to do. Now there's no Tyler Lockett. Spiral fracture to the finger. He's done for the year. Wait till you see what this looks like now.
Right.
Because now you've taken the second toy away. The league has figured Kenny Walker out. He has hit a wall. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know the case, which of those cases is true. He's not the same guy he was a month ago, and that's not even debatable. And now every team in the NFL has figured out this is really easy to stop. You can get your yards. Last night he threw for what, 238.
238.
Reasonably accurate. Never a threat to anything.
Mm-mm.
I'll let you do whatever you want to do between the 20s because you're not a threat to score on me. You want to kick your field goals? That's great. You got one corner that scares me. You've got one defensive player outside of that reasonably scares me, and then another good one in Nwosu. Outside of that, you're just a limited team. And looking at that schedule moving forward, you're 7-7. You play the Kansas City Chiefs next week. If you don't agree with me now, you're going to agree with me 10 days from now.
Mm-hmm.
Then you play the Jets and the Rams.
The question is there that guy there?
For what they want to do, for what Pete Carroll has made it abundantly clear he wants to do, yeah, it's C.J. Stroud.
Okay.
I think he is a perfect fit with the Seattle Seahawks. Because he has shown the thing that bothers me about C.J. Stroud is he's never had to really go through the progressions. This is a problem of Ohio State quarterbacks because they're you mentioned on this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The weapons are so good,
right.
You only need 2 reads. Well, C.J. Stroud is athletically and arm talent and mentally a higher level quarterback than Geno Smith is. If you put him in the wrong system, he'll bust out of the league in 3 years. But I think Seattle's a match made in heaven. I think this will work nicely because there's enough toys there. You have enough draft capital. You have enough money. You have a good enough coach. All of those things seem to just work in concert to me. Now, paying Geno Smith $30 million is stupid.
Oh, you definitely
Well, that's the franchise tag, and that's what has basically been said that they're going to do is franchise Geno Smith because they know where this is at. The alternative is to go Case Keenum, 2-year, $50 million deal.
Would there
both of those are terrible.
Would there even be close to that kind of market on him out in the open?
No.
No.
I would say his market's probably somewhere in the $12 to $15 million a year range.
That's what I was thinking. Why?
But he's not going to take that off the jump.
Why would you franchise tag him?
Make sure he's still there. He knows the system. He is a good mentor to whoever comes in behind him.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not the guy. This is one of those times, you can believe me or not, you want to go down this rabbit hole. I've watched plenty of teams do it.
You know,
you do not have the guy.
This is actually the first time I've ever thought about this decision for Seattle. Because I just thought, yeah, it's all cute and fun that Geno is, he's having a good season, right? We're not really entertaining this for the long term, are we?
Oh, no doubt they're entertaining this for the long term.
Okay.
I just feel like there are a slew of things you can do here, and most of them are wrong. If you go into next year with Geno Smith and some random backup quarterback, you're going to be in the exact same boat next year that you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care how good your defense is.
If you take a swing and a miss at number 3 on a quarterback,
who cares?
And
who cares? You've already won the trade. You could draft me and Uncle Rico with these 2 picks this year from the Denver Broncos, and it's still a home run for you. That's the other part of this. You have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. You have a franchise left tackle that you got out of this deal last year. You were able to take Tariq Woolen with one of your 5th-round picks because of the excess of picks that you had, because he was raw. That's a kid that was a receiver up until 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You've already won. You have already won this deal. There's nothing you can do that will change that. But now, do you want to hit a grand slam, or are you good standing on second? Because you take C.J. Stroud there at 2, and he turns into what he can be, this goes down as Herschel Walker at times 2.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, either way they slice it, they're going to have a great option.
No doubt.
At the top. I mean, it's either a quarterback or Will Anderson, right?
Jalen Carter.
So you're going to, you could possibly get the home run quarterback. You also get a bust quarterback.
And if you get a bust, what are you out? You get a bust, what are you out?
I mean, you're
okay, you got to do it again.
Yeah, but
with Geno Smith, you're going to be
there. I'll never be there again.
Well, with Geno Smith, you'll be there in 2 years. He is 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 6 one way, half dozen the other. It's just which quarterback are you replacing? And if you do it with bringing Geno back, you have enough leeway because now this kid does not have to start right away.
Mm-hmm.
If Geno Smith's in the building, you can trot him out there week 1 and be okay. Make it to the midpoint of the year or whatever the case may be. And develop the kid. Make sure he's comfortable. Don't do what the Jets did with Zach Wilson, what the Chicago Bears did with Justin Fields. Don't do that. But there is a possibility here that you can set yourself up for the next 10 years.
Satisfied Browns fan says, as an Ohio State alumni, I wouldn't recommend drafting Stroud. See, even Ohio State people have this. We just don't do it. We don't turn out good NFL quarterbacks. Never have.
Yeah. And J.T. Barrett has absolutely nothing to do with C.J. Stroud. Look, I get the red flags. He is thin. I get all that. That's the reason that this, to me, is the perfect scenario because I don't have to play him right away.
Mm-hmm.
But the high side of the team I saw yesterday is 8-9 at best. You'll be in this exact boat next year if you go into this with only Geno Smith.
You're in purgatory with this.
Oh, you're not there yet. Yeah, you're not there yet because purgatory would insinuate that there was some form of expectation, which this team had none. Seattle is currently working at a position of power like I have never seen before. We thought this was the worst team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get a pick like they were the worst team in the NFL, and they're not. Next year, those expectations change.
Mm-hmm.
You come out next year and go 7-10, 8-9. Now it's, is he too old? Has he lost touch? That's how quick things can change in this league.
Absolutely. Look how fast they changed from this year because we were already talking about, has Pete lost it? Has Pete changed? Is he too old? Does he need to get out? Why in the heck was he coming back? This is an awful team. We said all of those things for the last 2 years. And now, with the kindling of Geno Smith's career, I can't say rekindling because there was no kindling to begin with.
And Andrew Smith in our YouTube chat, any chance Seattle goes Levis at 2 or trades back to get more picks in Levis? That's the point. There's more than one way to skin this cat.
Mm-hmm.
If you fall in love with Will Levis, you don't have to take him at 2. Trade back, get one of these teams that's desperate for a quarterback and in love with somebody. If you even want to go Hendon Hooker or Jaron Hall, who you fall in love with is totally up to you. I could care less.
But just find the guy.
Find the guy because Geno Smith's not that guy, and I saw it time after time after time last night.
All right. Now I'm with you. I thought you were saying you have to take a quarterback at 3. You have to take one of these 3 guys.
You can do it any way you want to.
Mm-hmm. You just want somebody.
The Baltimore
you
Ravens.
You got to go get a guy.
The Baltimore Ravens once famously fell in love with Lamar Jackson. They picked another player and then traded back up at the back end of the first round to get their guy.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that too. I don't care. I'm just saying, if your thought process here is we've got Geno Smith and we're set, you are delusional.
Yeah. I would probably be leaning to find another way. I don't necessarily have to have one of the top 3 guys. And if I can find a guy that I think fits, that'll do what I need him to do, Jaron Hall you mentioned, maybe I can get him in the 2nd round. Maybe I can make a package and get back up. But I don't think I'm getting rid of that 3rd pick. Not when I know I can have a generational defender.
Depends on how you feel about the quarterback.
True. If they fall in love with C.J. Stroud, then they fall in love with C.J. Stroud.
I have a very different take on the quarterbacks than most.
It's time to get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
All right, we try to stay away from politics here in the Sportsocracy, but sometimes those 2 avenues they cross paths, and we're finding that maybe there's going to be a problem here for Andre Carter II. He is a star football player from Army. He is some project him in the first round of the draft. Do you have him projected in the first round?
No, I got him high in the second.
High in the second.
I had him going
round.
to the Detroit Lions in the last month.
Yep. Well, I mean, he is going to be a star. He's going to be a high pick at the next level. And now it appears that there may be a little hiccup in this plan. The Military Times reporting that because of a change in the law, he may no longer be allowed to be available to play professional sports immediately. When you go to one of the service academies, you have to sign that contract. We've talked about this in the past. It used to be that you couldn't do this. You couldn't go pro. You had to fulfill your commitment to the Army or the Navy or the Marines or whatever before you could play professional sports. Well, that got all reversed in 2019 by President Donald Trump, and now there is the National Defense Authorization Act that is on Joe Biden's desk that would basically just repeal this, the ability for him to go pro. It would be, as they call it, a breach of service obligation if he doesn't fulfill his time in the service before going pro. I mean, if it passes and it gets signed, federal law is federal law. I don't know how you're going to get around that to still make it work.
I will believe it when I see it. If you want to know why I don't trust the government, that's a really good example. Hey, we had this problem and we fixed it. Now, let's make it a problem again?
Right.
That's this vicious cycle that just drives me crazy. I don't see a path you keep this kid out of the NFL.
No.
I mean, this is the first unbelievable talent you've had come out of those academies in forever.
Mm-hmm.
This is great publicity for those academies. It's a great story. We'll talk about this ad nauseum on our draft coverage when we get to day 2.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those times of you can take the layup or you can walk out in front of traffic. One of them makes a lot more sense than the other.
Oh, 100%. And I'm completely on the side of they need to let this guy go to the NFL. They need to let him do his thing, and he can fulfill that commitment at another time. I don't care. He could play for 15 years and then come back and be in the reserve. I don't care what it is.
That's the way to do this.
Like, absolutely.
Which is the way they've done it forever.
Yeah, you let him go play. But now it's just creating another problem. And I'm with you, Jeremy. I don't think they're going to keep him from doing it.
As I stated, I will believe it when I see it.
I think now that the Military Times has picked it up, there's going to be another bill coming right after this one that says, oh, no, we're going to unwind that.
Hey, speaking of government doing things that are disingenuous, you remember when Gavin Newsom and the UC Regents said, we're going to block USC and UCLA from going to the Big Ten?
Yeah, funny.
Yeah, that didn't work,
Mm-hmm.
and we told you it wouldn't that day. Well, now we know why they tried to do that. It wasn't because they didn't want USC and UCLA to go, and there's all these people at UCLA that don't want it to happen, and blah, 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 blah. No, it's because you tried to force Stanford, Oregon, and Washington on them, and they told you to pound sand.
Mm-hmm.
A report is out today that apparently the UC Regents were pushing the Big Ten not only to take the 2 schools that they did take, but 3 extras, because apparently they have absolutely no vested interest in the Pac-12 surviving. They know where this is, just like we both told you they did.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to be a special kind of stupid to look around and go, oh, yeah, we're just as good here as we would be in the Big Ten. I mean, you're talking $40, $50, $60 million a year coming into your program in one that is not coming in the other. And now that this is leaked out, it's a really bad look. The UC Regents chair, Rich Lieb, explained to the USA Today, we certainly put some pressure on it to see if we could get them to take them. In the end, the expansion was not going to be on the table for us, which is one great big pie in the face of the UC Regents.
It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. It's a football Friday. We're going to be playing Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief David Zack coming up at the 4 o'clock hour, so stay tuned with us for that. San Francisco beat Seattle last night. It improves the playoff chances for the Detroit Lions, who have to face off against Jeremy's Jets this weekend.
They do.
And Mike White ain't going to be there. I feel like Dan Campbell should be feeling pretty good about where his Lions are.
That just means that it's time for the debut of the new blockbuster movie, MILF Hunter Part 2, The Reckoning.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cold numbers this weekend with lows down into the 20s. Believe it or not, it gets even colder before Christmas in the long-range forecast. 28 degrees our low in the valley tonight with mid-20s in the higher elevations and low 20s. Mostly sunny and cold this weekend. Highs in the 30s and 40s this weekend. Lows down in the 20s. Record cold for us is in the single-digit territory, and we might be heading that direction for right before Christmas. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Friday Health Plans. Friday Health Plans is designed for people who buy their own health insurance, with benefits like unlimited $0 primary care and mental health visits. Get a quote at FridayHealthPlans.com and see if you qualify for $10 insurance. All plans issued by Friday Health Plans of North Carolina, Inc.
Holiday shopping is exhausting. I hit like 30 stores already. You? I went to Verizon. Oh, and? And that's it. Seriously? Seriously. I got the new iPhone 14 Pro on Verizon, plus more Apple gifts like Apple Watch SE, iPad, and Beats Fit Pro, also on Verizon. A value of up to $1,900. Seriously? Yeah, the iPhone 14 Pro is perfect for my teenager. Pro camera system takes amazing pictures, even in low light. She's gonna love it. So who gets the Apple gifts? Oh, the Apple gifts? I'm keeping those for myself. Kinda like a finder's fee? More like a holiday miracle. Seriously.
This holiday, get to your Verizon store for their best deal of the year. A service plan is required for gifts. 5G phone, up to $999.99 device payment purchase or full retail purchase with newer upgrade smartphone line required. Less up to $1,000 trade-in promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for offer details. Up to $1,900 value based on iPhone, Apple Watch, iPad, and Beats.
Dancing crew, trip for two, nailed the final interview. Game with Doug, brand new mug. Come here, kid. Give me a hug. The more you want to do, the more we want to do. New COVID-19 boosters designed for recent Omicron variants are now available. Learn about eligibility and schedule a free updated booster today at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Stacey's mom has got it going on. She's all I want, and I've waited.
It's ESPN Asheville. The MILF Hunter's back.
Hey, Stacey's mom did have it going on. People make fun of this, but okay. The Reckoning.
It's time. Mike White has not been cleared for contact.
Which is a horrible look for the Jets doctors.
Oh, 100%.
He can't be cleared a week later, but you put him in twice.
Had to.
Mike White's just tougher than a pine knot.
Absolutely.
And that's the fact that you went back in is enough for me. Now, I do have to dispel what might be the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Cole was on the Pat McAfee show earlier. Lifelong Jets fan.
Oh, the wrestling guy. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And he said this was a conspiracy by Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas, knowing that Mike White was not going to play. And they want Zach Wilson back in. So they give him the easiest defense that they have to play for the rest of the year, and this is where he will retake the job, and they'll be able to see what they have. I mean, look, I love
I've heard crazier theories.
I love a good conspiracy theory. Nobody likes one of those more than I do. Stop. When Mike White's healthy, Mike White's the quarterback of this team.
Yes. You're not playing with wins and losses. Like, you don't have extra gas to burn here. Like, you need every little bit of it, don't you think?
I am not as worried about this as every other Jets fan seems to be.
We're not taking swings on the Detroit Lions, is all I'm saying. Like, if there was a chance Mike White could play in this game, he'd be playing.
If Mike White could play, he'd play.
Yeah.
Now, did you know he wasn't going to be able to play, and that's why you promoted Zach Wilson?
100%.
That I will give you. That makes sense.
There's no doubt.
Because Joe Flacco is a corpse walking on 2 feet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you play Braden Mann, the punter, at quarterback. As long as it's not Joe Flacco, I don't really care.
Yeah. I mean, have you heard reports coming out of practice talking about how Zach Wilson has really turned it around and he looks really good and all of that?
I've heard none of that.
They look at Joe Flacco and go, no, we're not doing that again. I know. I mean, it's been a few weeks, and I think the message got sent about Zach Wilson. It's time to really stop this because now if Mike's going to be hurt, we're going to have a backup option, a better option.
Well, here's the other thing you got to remember. They play on Thursday Night Football next week.
Mm-hmm.
So if Mike White can't go at 1 o'clock on Sunday, I kind of struggle to believe he's going to be ready to go at 8 o'clock on Thursday.
I don't care what kind of cortisol steroid shots it takes to make that work. You make that work. We can get through 1 week with Zach Wilson.
No, I think this is 2 weeks. If you can't get a doctor to clear you now, I struggle to. And not only can you not get them to clear you, they told you they're not going to 2 days ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's mommy dearest.
It's not a good thing.
But here's where I don't really care.
Okay.
The Lions' defense has been drastically better in the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
They also have not played a defense like they're getting ready to play all year long at Philadelphia. And they did have some success against Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
I also have to revisit the old L.A. Rams Jared Goff. Have you ever noticed what happens to him when he plays outside? I'm not telling you that Zach Wilson's going to be fantastic. I'm just telling you that I don't think it's that big a deal. Stephen Tao said Flacco won more games this year than Zach. No, he didn't. Zach's 5-2 as a starter. His 2 losses came to the New England Patriots.
Falco was 1-2. 1-2. Yeah,
and he was fine. He led the comeback against the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
That's him as a starter.
I mean, I think in his 3 starts, he did rack up more yards.
He threw for a ton of yards.
Wilson had all season long.
He threw for a ton of yards, and that's part of this. The game plan is very different with Mike White and Joe Flacco than it is with Zach Wilson. You're going to see a lot of Zonovan Knight. You're going to see a lot of Michael Carter. And Garrett Wilson, I don't really care who the quarterback is.
Mm-hmm.
A lot was made of, they didn't have a connection. Yeah, in 2 of the last 3 games that they played together, Garrett Wilson was over 90 yards, over 6 catches, and had a touchdown in both. So, yeah, I mean, you can take that really cold New England game where nothing happened. He's not a good quarterback. I'm not telling you that he is. I have seen worse things than him having played in this game. Sports freak Brian Hall couldn't wait to say, Zach Wilson's back with the Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
And you're just.
And in the next 3 weeks, you play the Lions, the Jaguars, and the Seahawks. If you can't beat those 3 teams with your number 2 pick as your quarterback, you don't deserve to go to the playoffs.
Okay. I like it.
That is as basic as I can be about it.
It's a healthy place for you to be, and I'm glad you came to that conclusion. Because I'll be honest with you, when I saw this news come in this morning, I went, oh, God. I know what I'm walking into as soon as I get there. It's just he's going to be surly. He's going to be upset.
How in the world can I bang the drum of Mike White is going to do what he's asked with limited talent, but the defense can pick him up, the running game can pick him up, and then I can't say that about an obviously better arm talent. Mm-hmm. He's not a better quarterback. He's got a big arm in a game that's going to be cold with some wind. And if I'm Mike LaFleur, I'm sitting him in a room, and I don't care if I have to set this up like a police interrogation. There will be one light in the middle of the room, and I'm going to shine it right in his face. I need you to make 3 high-level throws all day long. Nothing more, nothing less. I need you to hit 1 deep ball, 1 real good one over the middle, and score 1 touchdown in the red zone. Mm-hmm. The defense will take care of the rest because Robert Saleh has had great success against Jared Goff, and Jared Goff has been a nightmare outside. In the cold.
Yeah.
Go back to the Pittsburgh game where it looked like he had never been in weather below 60 degrees.
Regardless of who the quarterback is, I don't feel. I mean, your offense has obviously looked better with Mike White,
no doubt.
But it's still not.
He's a better quarterback.
It still hasn't translated to points.
No.
And the good thing is you don't need it to.
No.
You
lean on the defense.
Right. You do the same thing. The San Francisco 49ers can do. We only need to score 20 points a game.
And I'll even go one step further to what you just said. If I'm Mike LaFleur, I'm going to sit Zach Wilson down. I'm going to show him every clip of that San Francisco game from last night. This is what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to manipulate the defense with your eyes. I'm not going to ask you to do a lot. 1 read, learn from Justin Fields, learn from Geno Smith, learn from Brock Purdy. I'm not going to overload you because you've already shown me you can't do that. So we're going to simplify this down. I don't need you to be the number 2 pick in the draft. I need you to be a startable quarterback in the NFL. And if you can't do that, we're not there anyway. And I'm going to go at this from a completely different angle from what I've heard every Jet fan say. If Zach Wilson's the reason you don't make the playoffs, you can move on in the offseason. If he goes on somewhere else and succeeds, more power to him. He wasn't succeeding here.
Yes.
This is your 3rd chance. Mm-hmm. You do not get a 4th. So, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
If the defense can take you to the playoffs, great. If not, you'll pick in the teens again, and you'll be a favorite in the AFC next year. Those are 2 options that are drastically better than what I thought I would have going into Week 15 when this season started.
It's very true. Very true. Very positive side, positive outlook here for Jeremy Greene. He's all excited because, it's Christmas season. You've been watching Christmas. I feel like you've gotten the touch of the spirit. We got a Christmas party coming up tonight. You're getting all excited about. I'm
in big boy pants.
I'm
actually wearing.
Are you wearing foot prisons?
Yeah.
I didn't even look.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm wearing foot prisons and long pants. No shorts for me today.
Interesting. He's
hanging out with cultured people. Not the it's a higher class of company that I'm used to keeping.
Yeah. Look, not to spoil the pick coming up later on, but I didn't like you in this game anyway. But now with Zach Wilson, I really don't like you.
And not to spoil the pick, but I loved us before, and I love us now.
Really?
Really.
That defense is going to shut down Detroit, you think?
Tell me where the advantageous match. I'm way more bothered that Quinnen Williams is not going to play than that Mike White's not.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift part of this, that could end less than ideally. And that part I don't love.
Who gets Amon-Ra?
DJ Reed. And Ahmad Sauce-Gardner will get DJ Chark. Mm-hmm. Congratulations. Lean on Josh Reynolds. We'll see how that works for you.
Jameson Williams.
Who's played, I think, a combined 24 snaps in 2 weeks.
It's fine. He's getting healthier. He's getting more involved. Had a big touchdown last week. That Lions team is super hot right now.
Mm-hmm. And you remember I told you there was a public narrative that was going to a dum-dum place?
Mm-hmm.
Found it.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
The Ingles Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at Asheville Outlets as a reminder of the needs of so many families in western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingles locations. Donate online or at the Ingles Giving Tree at Asheville Outlets so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in western North Carolina. Please help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this season.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zack with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Yeah, I got that feeling you're going to be back in the Zach Wilson is god-awful category.
I'm not telling you he's not.
Week.
That absolutely has nothing to do with why I like the Jets in this game.
You like the matchups.
I mean, I get DJ Reed on Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I get Sauce Gardner on DJ Chark.
Mm-hmm. And those are great. I mean, it's going to be a fun battle to watch between the wide receivers and the corners for the Jets.
Look, I like the Lions. But there is a big difference between the Vikings, Jaguars, Giants, Bears, and Packers defensively and what you're getting ready to go up against.
George Cook in the YouTube comments would like for you to elaborate more on DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, because he's asking for fantasy. He wants to know if they're usable.
I wish DeAndre Swift got more touches. If he did, I would really like him in this game. Pass-catching running backs like that have messed with the Jets. And with no Quinnen Williams, I don't mind Jamal Williams at all. I think he's touchdown dependent.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think anybody for Detroit is going to have a breakout day? No, not really. Jared Goff has been horrid outdoors in the cold. And just since you asked, the forecast, 15-mile-an-hour winds and 35 degrees. I seen Jared Goff in that little warbler ball. Look, this is one of those things that we New York fans always laugh about. The Tuas of the world, the Josh Allens of the world, that doesn't bother them because they throw a tight spiral. Jared Goff doesn't and never has. Those guys come into the Meadowlands, and it's a house of horrors because they can't get a ball down the field.
Right.
The winds are weird. I've been in that stadium enough times. They'll blow dead to the right, and 4 seconds later, dead to the left. Jared Goff, this is a nightmare situation for him.
And I think that's even more reason to like DeAndre in this game.
If they would use him. I said the same thing last week, and I think he got 12 total touches in the entire game. But if you're being honest, yeah, they beat the Giants. It was 50-some-odd degrees when they played the Giants.
Yep.
They beat the Bears. It was 40-some-odd degrees when they beat the Bears. Other than that, you haven't really seen a cold weather game all year.
So, can Jared Goff get the job done? We shall see. We got college bowl games going on, too.
Whoa.
The bowl season has officially kicked off with, what I feel like should be I've always felt like this should be a much higher reward bowl than the first one. The Bahamas Bowl was a great affair.
Just like the Hawaii Bowl was back in the day.
Right. 3 lead changes in the fourth quarter today as UAB took down Miami of Ohio. And we've got UTSA and Troy going at it in Orlando right now.
It's playing behind my head, and I don't even care.
He doesn't even care. College football bowl season is here. We got the NFL in the playoff stretch. Times are good. Jeremy's already getting ready for the draft. We got Christmas break coming up. And we've got a tournament to get through tomorrow or next week. As we'll do the Merry Madness tournament, the best Christmas movies all whittled down to the all-time greatest. By the end of next week, we will be putting out the 32 selections today on the social medias, and we're going to leave it up to you to seed them.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, and the ones are pretty much already locked in because we've seen them a lot of times.
Christmas Story, number 1 overall seed.
Oh, no. How many times can I personally vote? Like, how many devices do I have that I can vote in this to make sure that movie does not win?
We'll be putting out the selections, though. Like I said, later on the social medias. Look for that over the weekend. Help us seed the tournament. We'll have the unveiling of the bracket coming up on Monday. Or maybe we should do it on the fantasy show on Sunday.
It'll be on the social media Sunday.
We'll play Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief Zack in the Ingles Studio after the Sports Center update.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cold numbers this weekend with lows down into the 20s. Believe it or not, gets even colder before Christmas in the long-range forecast. 28 degrees our low in the valley tonight with mid-20s in the higher elevations and low 20s. Mostly sunny and cold this weekend. Highs in the 30s and 40s this weekend. Lows down in the 20s. Record cold for us is in the single-digit territory, and we might be heading that direction for right before Christmas. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer. When temperatures drop, COVID-19 cases may rise. So if you test positive and are at high risk, act fast. Even if your symptoms feel mild, ask your provider if an authorized oral treatment could be right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
The rumors are true. Nacho fries are back at Taco Bell for a limited time. So if you've been craving those golden fries with their Mexican spices and that warm nacho cheese sauce you dip them in, Go to Taco Bell and order some today. Contact store for participation, which varies.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year. Help police by not escalating. Address any complaints after the encounter. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. Learn more at nationalpolice.org.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Doug Brown. Jets quarterback Zach Wilson hasn't been in a game for almost a month, but he'll start Sunday against the Lions. Mike White is out with fractured ribs. The 49ers clinched the NFL West title with a win over the Seahawks. And ESPN's Ryan Clark says if Brock Purdy takes San Francisco to the Super Bowl, it'll be a better story than Tom Brady's first title with the Patriots.
If he brings this team to a championship, it's a more improbable run than that run. This is Mr. Irrelevant. In his rookie year, he was the third quarterback on the roster. He takes over a team that has a good defense, that has a good run game, but has never depended on his quarterback.
Ryan Clark on Get Up. ESPN's Chris Lowe reports Alabama isn't expecting any opt-outs for its Sugar Bowl game against Kansas State. Quarterback Bryce Young and linebacker Will Anderson Jr., who could be the top 2 picks in the draft, will both play. Mavericks guard Tyrell Terry announces his retirement from the NBA today because of what he calls overwhelming anxiety. Terry is 22. He was a first-round pick in 2020.
Coming up on Monday, the Packers still have an outside chance of making the playoffs, but will this be the last chance for Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay? We'll discuss that on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Monday morning, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy, and we are in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, and heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube, thesportsocracy.com. Click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat, and you get the alerts whenever we go live. We'll be live on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. to get you ready for the fantasy day. What's left of the action, because we got action Saturday and Sunday this week. 3 games tomorrow, and then, of course, we'll have the rest of the games, or the rest of the teams in action on Sunday and, of course, Monday Night Football this week. It is that time on a Football Friday when we bring in Asheville Police Chief David Zack to play Beat the Chief.
Gotcha. Coming back.
Jeremy is now 2 games behind in the season-long contest to me after picking up a win last week. It was a very competitive week between the 3 of us, as Jeremy won it with an 8-4 record, picking all the games in the NFL against the spread. Chief, you and I were 1 game behind him at 7-5. Beat the Chief always brought to you by Asheville Police Chief David Zack's lovely better half, Clarissa Hyatt Zack of EXP Realty. Go to ClarissaSellsWNC.com, and best realtor in the world, right? And a wildly attractive. Oh, wait. Hang on.
Tank's had a real problem with microphones this week.
I have, for some reason.
He has 4 buttons. I have 400.
Uh-huh.
In addition to being an outstanding realtor, also a wildly attractive woman.
There you go. Clarissa Hyatt Zack of EXP Realty. Go to ClarissaSellsWNC.com. So for the season, I have the lead at 95, 90, and 7. Jeremy behind me at 93, 92, and 7. And Chief 1 game behind Jeremy at 92, 93, and 7. I'm looking for another competitive week here. It was weird. We thought it was going to be a bloodbath for somebody last week because there were so many disagreements. But that's how the NFL goes. You win some, you lose some. Somehow, we all end up with above 500 records for the week anyway. Jeremy has now joined the over 500 club.
Yes.
For the season, and the Chief, I feel confident, will be able to bust into the black this week.
That would be nice.
Yes,
that would be nice. But we've been inching towards it every week, it seems.
Absolutely,
it was a rough start. It was a rough start.
But. It was. All right, let's get into a first game coming up tomorrow afternoon at 1:30. The Minnesota Vikings and the Indianapolis Colts. It's in Minnesota, and Minnesota is a 3.5-point favorite.
Oh, as your reigning, defending. I'll go ahead and take this one first. This line is stupid. The Indianapolis Colts are terrible, and they're on the road. And who in the world do you think is going to stop Justin Jefferson? Because if you say Stephon Gilmore after I'm done laughing, I'm going to go in and I'm going to wager that right behind you.
Right.
Stephon's a great corner, very physical corner. Doesn't really have the physical gifts at this point to deal with Justin Jefferson. So I will ardently be on the Minnesota Vikings.
Chief, what do you think?
I'm with Jeremy on this. I didn't understand the line here at all. Yeah, I mean, where do the Colts score? We know the Vikings can, and you kind of wonder, okay, how do the Colts get their points? So this was an easy one for me as well.
I mean, you got to rely on Jonathan Taylor to get your points if you're Indianapolis. And
I think the Vikings know that.
Well, of course they do. Of course they do. Other than that, you have no other way to score. You're a terribly one-dimensional team. Your defense is okay, but you're not shutting down Kirk Cousins and these weapons.
The Indianapolis defense is good. The problem is that the offense is piddle, which I think probably puts them in bad situations once or twice and is enough for Minnesota to cover the number. I don't think it's a blowout. Minnesota's going to play close with a lot of teams, especially if they're even reasonably competent defensively.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just not enough offense there. I mean, Minnesota knows exactly what you're going to do.
Yes.
It's one thing when it's Detroit and you've got Amon-Ra and Chark and Jameson Williams. Then the fact you've got running backs can be problematic. You have Michael Pittman. End of message. Repeat the line.
I'm with you guys. Minnesota across the board as a choice to open up Beat the Chief this week, minus the 3.5 against the Indianapolis Colts. And we've got Cleveland hosting Baltimore. And Cleveland is a 3-point favorite. Is that right?
Yeah. I don't get lines wrong. I do think I feel like I know where you're headed with this based on how you said that.
Well, I mean, it's just I don't know. I mean, like if Lamar were playing in this game, I feel like that would flip. But there's no Lamar Jackson for Baltimore, and there is a Tyler Huntley though. Yeah, and I don't like it. I'll take Deshaun Watson. I'll take the Deshaun Watson side of this. I'm going Cleveland to cover the 3. I don't believe in Baltimore without Lamar Jackson.
Chief, do you keep those roadside drug tests in your car? Because I feel like he needs one right now. I love getting free games. The Baltimore Ravens. I catch 3 points with a team that is exponentially better. But Nick Chubb. Yes, it's Deshaun Watson came back. Kevin Stefanski completely forgot he exists.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on a short week. Oh, good. Every narrative goes Baltimore. Smart money's on Cleveland, but I think this is one time they get it wrong.
Yeah,
you're overvaluing Lamar Jackson.
I mean, Deshaun was awful in his first start. Last week, you saw a little bit of progression, and this week he takes on a defense that has been suspect, especially in the back half at times. So,
I knew we were going to say the phrase "suspect defense" in this take, but I really thought it was going to be about the Cleveland Browns.
Well,
because the Ravens have been drastically better the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
This is the easiest pick of the entire year for me.
You think J.K. Dobbins is going to have another banger of a
100-yard game? No, I don't. But
I don't see a path. I mean, there is a path, but I don't see how you like Baltimore so much if you don't think J.K. is going to be the way that they kill
because
him.
they have 4 other running backs. How many times have we seen them do this where, J.K. Dobbins has a great week, and the next week it's Gus Edwards, and then it's Justice Hill, and then it's some guy off the practice squad, because that's what the Baltimore Ravens do.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Chief?
I think you're both right. I mean, points on both sides are valid. I just don't, as much, and I think I said this last week, I didn't see much of a drop-off between Hundley and Lamar. That changes their offense or that changes how they execute very much. And I am not impressed with Deshaun Watson at all. And just for that reason alone, I think the 3 is enough for Baltimore. So I'm on the Ravens as well.
Okay. All right. I will be the only one on the Cleveland Browns, and that one not to say that I was surprised that that's how that turned out. Now, the Buffalo Bills.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
All right. We have to now turn to the Buffalo Bills fan in the room, the Buffalo Bills season ticket holder, who has seen many a game that has been spotlighted in bad weather. How bad's it going to be, Chief?
From what I'm hearing, it's going to be bad.
Oh,
it's going to be bad. They're predicting heavy snow. They're predicting heavy snow during the game. And might I say,
Buffalo fan to say that, it's going to be bad.
Just a story to share. When the Bills finally broke the string from the 70s into the 80s and finally beat the Dolphins after like 17 games,
right?
I was on the field tearing down those goalposts. And
nice.
carrying them up to Mr. Wilson's box.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then I think we threw it off the upper deck. I can't remember that completely if that's the way it went. And then I followed that up by going to the Bob Seger concert that night. So
awesome.
What I still refer to as one of the best nights of my life. The vandalism.
Got to be top 3 drunkest you've ever been.
It was there.
It was there.
It was there. Anyway. Bad weather. The Miami ground game, not very impressive. The Bills ground game, vastly improved. I went against my Bills last week. I took the Jets. That was a smart play, but I'm not doing it this week. I think Buffalo and the Bills are angry.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely think they are going to put a beat down on the Dolphins. Definitely. I'll take the Bills all day long. What's the spread again? Don't even know. Don't
7.
care. 7. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's
7, 70. Who cares?
Doesn't
Bills
matter.
by a billion. So did you say you went to a Bob Seger concert after a Bills game?
I did.
That's a commitment to a great day. And also ironic because I feel like there is a great Bob Seger song that is exactly how Tua Tagovailoa feels right now. On a lone and lonesome highway east of Buffalo, I got nobody to help me because it's snowing sideways. Buffalo beat our brains out because we're not all that freaking good. Let's go, Buffalo Bills!
All right, the lyrics need some work.
A little bit.
It's a work in progress.
Here's the thing. They tell Bob Seger the lyrics before he starts the song. I made them up as I went along.
I forget what tour that was. It wasn't Night Moves. Can't remember. It was awesome, though. Awesome show.
You're going to see very few night moves out of the little receivers for the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
If it snows enough, you might actually lose them in the snow because they're 4 feet tall.
They were sitting on warming benches in San Diego.
In LA.
It was 50 degrees.
In California, you needed a heater.
Hey.
You're going to Buffalo wearing 6.
Dolphins fans hovering outside the studio right now.
Was he there?
He's not happy.
He's over our
I thought I felt something breeze in here, breathing down my neck. And he's got his Dolphin shirt on,
Sports
too.
Freak Brian Hall, he's repping the Dolphins this week.
Let's go Dolphins! Ba, 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 ba. We've got our heaters. Ba, 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 ba.
You're going to need one of the, those heaters that they make that you can smash them and then they just get warm and you put them in your little fuzzy hand.
Yeah, hot hands.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot of those. And I don't think there's one on the field, which is going to be a problem because snow really reduces your speed.
Right.
I don't think this game will be close for a quarter.
We had the heaters out for the L.A. game, and it was 50 degrees. I don't feel like that's going to help you a whole lot. Like, if you were uncomfortable at 50 degrees in Los Angeles, it's going to be really uncomfortable for you in Buffalo when it's below freezing and blowing snow sideways. Tua is just, I mean, I made fun of his little crack earlier this week. It snows in Alabama. Yeah, it did once, and you practiced in it for 4 minutes. Stop that. You're not good in cold weather. You're not going to be good in a snowstorm. The snowstorm is going to mitigate what you want to do in the game. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, it's going to slow that offensive attack down. Not to mention, I don't really think you could put it on them if it wasn't going to snow, because that's how much I believe in the Buffalo Bills.
When the weather outside is frightful and your defense is also frightful, when there's really no place to go, Buffalo, Buffalo, Buffalo.
That's pretty good.
He's getting better. He's getting better.
Pretty
Getting
good.
better.
Just the one knock on that one.
We're going to work on this. We're going to work on this later. We're going to work on this later.
First one didn't have stanzas that rhymed, which is really a no-no. And then that second one, you rhyme the same word with each other. But we're working on it. We're working on it. So the Saturday slate will close out, we all believe, with the Buffalo Bills covering the 7 points against the Miami Dolphins. Sunday's got a full slate, and we'll get into that up next right here on ESPN Asheville. Play and Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief Zack, brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of eXp Realty. Go to clarissasellswbnc.com.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and US 1923 exit 4A. 26 westbound stop and go between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound crawling between the 26-240 split Malfunction Junction and Smoky Park Highway due to an accident. The left lane blocked. Haywood County 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Smoky Park Highway north and southbound approaching Sand Hill Road. Heavy delays near Avery Creek. Boulevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Boulevard Road northbound slow between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Hendersonville Road northbound in Fletcher is stop and go approaching Fanning Bridge Road. Hendersonville Road northbound stop and go between Airport Road and Mills Gap Road. Sweeten Creek Road northbound stop and go between Royal Pines and Mills Gap Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lindenfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The rumors are true. Nacho fries are back at Taco Bell for a limited time. So if you've been craving those golden fries with their Mexican spices and that warm nacho cheese sauce you dip them in, go to Taco Bell and order some today. Contact store for participation, which varies.
Holiday shopping is exhausting. I hit like 30 stores already. You?
I went to Verizon.
Oh, and?
And that's it.
Seriously?
Seriously. I got the new iPhone 14 Pro on Verizon, plus more Apple gifts like Apple Watch SE, iPad, and Beats Fit Pro, also on Verizon. A value of up to $1,900.
Seriously?
Yeah, the iPhone 14 Pro is perfect for my teenager. Its new Pro camera system takes amazing pictures, even in low light. She's gonna love it.
So who gets the Apple gifts?
Oh, the Apple gifts? I'm keeping those for myself.
Kinda like a finder's fee?
More like a holiday miracle.
Seriously.
This holiday, get to your Verizon store for their best deal of the year. A service plan is required for gifts. 5G phone, up to $999.99 device payment purchase or full retail purchase with newer upgrade smartphone line required. Less up to $1,000 trade-in promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for offer details. Up to $1,900 value based on iPhone, Apple Watch, iPad, and Beats.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday Night Rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
I win!
You're in the Sportsocracy. We're playing Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief David Zack here on ESPN Asheville, and it's brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of eXp Realty. Go to clarissasellswbnc.com, and Jeremy won last week, so he's just all excited, ready to make his ascension to the throne of the game.
Footloose and fancy free.
Mm-hmm. It's blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then, right? Right, Chief? I mean,
he talked smoke one time before to the third guy that does our fantasy show. I don't think he's beaten him 1 week since.
he had to win one eventually. So anyway, Jeremy with the win last week. Congratulations on that.
Tank is the exact opposite of a tree. When he starts throwing shade, he becomes largely irrelevant. See what I did there?
Yeah,
nice.
Nice. The Sunday slate, 1 o'clock games. Let's start out with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Chicago Bears. Woo, buddy. The Philadelphia Eagles for the last couple of weeks, I feel like they've outscored their opponents 472-0. It hasn't been quite that bad, but they have been so dominant. And there is no chance that changes this week.
No, this line is a stupid public narrative. Well, but Justin Fields has been so good. Well, he never wins. Mm-hmm. And he never throws. So
Philadelphia is a 9-point favorite on the road in Chicago, and the most entertaining part of this game is going to be the kickoff. I mean, unless you're an Eagles fan, and then the entire
thing will all be entertaining.
Right, and then the entire game is going to be fun from start to finish.
This line to me is if the Philadelphia Eagles played the Houston Texans right now in Houston, what would that line be? I mean, the Chiefs are playing the Texans in Houston, and it's 14. Philadelphia is better than Kansas City. So I'm going to say it would probably be 15.5.
Okay.
Chicago is every bit as bad as Houston. This line is stupid. Philadelphia Eagles.
I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles are going to have as many rushing yards this week as many times as I rolled reading the article this week from one of the fan pages for the Chicago Bears talking about how Justin Fields, he's just like Jalen Hurts. He's had a rough 2 years, but he can make the leap just like Jalen Hurts has done. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait till next year to see that.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
The only way you're going to see that next year is if you have a really high-level Madden subscription.
But compare their stats. Because they're almost identical from the first 2 years of Jalen Hurts to the first 2 years of Justin Fields. Fields got a little bit more rushing yards. They're about the same in completion percentage and all of those things. So anyway, this is not going to be close. It's never going to be close. Philadelphia will easily win this thing by 9.
Just a thing that I have to say, among quarterbacks that have started, Justin Fields started 22 games. How many quarterbacks in the NFL have a worse win-loss record than Justin Fields with 22 starts or more?
Was it none?
It's one, and it's Davis Mills. The others, by percentage, that are under him and active in the NFL, Brandon Allen, Josh Rosen, C.J. Beathard, Matt McGloin, Jeff Driscoll, and Josh Johnson. End of message. Repeat the line. You can keep telling me how good he is. Until he wins, you're yelling at that wall right there.
Philadelphia Eagles, I feel like, are out to prove a point.
I'm with both you guys on the Eagles. Like I said, not much more to add to that.
Yep. The New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons. New Orleans is at home. They're a 4-point favorite. And Atlanta is going with Desmond Ridder. Hence the reason I'm taking the New Orleans Saints minus the 4.
I reserve the right to pick this game last.
A rut-row. Chief.
I am not impressed with the Saints. I have no idea what to expect from Desmond Ridder, right? Is that his name?
Yep.
Desmond Ridder, yes.
Yeah, Desmond Ridder. Trying to read up on Desmond Ridder, but I just, I just have no faith in what the Saints are doing, and I think they struggle. I like Atlanta.
Okay.
Well, that took a little of the wind out of my sails. 83% of the money is on the Atlanta Falcons. Not because we think Desmond Ridder will be good, because we think Desmond Ridder brings a slightly different element because he's a better thrower of the football than Marcus Mariota is. Mm-hmm. And when you see all of the things that have transpired in the last week with Marcus Mariota, you kind of feel like maybe there's been a bit of a gray cloud hanging over this team that is now gone. Atlanta Falcons plus the 4, they went outright.
Interesting. Okay. New Orleans Saints, look, I'm still going with the defense. I still feel like they have I feel like they should have the better offense, and maybe that's where I'm stuck.
They don't have the better offense.
That's where I'm stuck. As I look at this team and I go, you're going up against the Atlanta Falcons with Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave. To me, that should be enough.
They don't have the better offense, and the defense at this point is grossly overrated. It was way better with Dennis Allen as a coordinator than it has been with Dennis Allen as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure this game's even close.
Really?
I could see a path where you get the backup quarterback bump for a week, and the New Orleans is just listless as they get.
I think it's possible, but I think I'm reverting to the New Orleans Saints have a decent defense,
but they don't.
They don't.
If you statistically look at this and analytically look at this, the defense has been pounded by bad teams. They don't give up a ton of points.
Mm-hmm.
They give up a lot of yards. They give up a lot of big plays. And I feel like New Orleans is living on a reputation right now, and that's the reason that they're a 4-point lean right here, because they shouldn't be. Because what this line's telling me, they'd be a favorite in Atlanta, and that is stupid.
Even with Desmond Ridder.
I don't care who played quarterback.
I don't think there's a big drop-off.
I don't either. I think they're the same guy. Ridder's a slightly better thrower of the ball.
Okay. All right. Guy making his first start in the NFL. I'm going with the veteran defense on this one. I'll take the Saints. You guys are on the Atlanta Falcons. And then
my Jets, Jets.
He's been waiting all day for this. His opportunity to tell you just why his Jets are going to win this game.
I get Jared Goff outside, where he has been historically bad. The wind will be blowing. It will be cold. And I get DJ Reed on Amon-Ra St. Brown. I get Sauce Gardner on DJ Chark.
Mm-hmm.
There is a 50-50 shot Quinnen Williams plays. With him, I love this. I don't mind it without him. I think they will be able to run slightly better with no Quinnen Williams. But I do not see a way that the Detroit Lions are going to score outside on this Jets team.
At all.
I'm not telling you they're going to shut them out. I'm just – can Zach Wilson put up 17 points? Because that's what I think you need to do. And I don't think there's a snowball's chance in Atlanta that Detroit can keep them from scoring 17 points.
Mm-hmm. I do. I
don't.
I feel like the Detroit Lions, they have played better defense the last few weeks. They have not been.
Yeah, they gave up the Minnesota Vikings franchise record to Justin Jefferson last week.
Mm-hmm.
I think Garrett Wilson's going to have him a day Because this narrative that him and Zach Wilson did not work well together,
right?
They didn't work well together in the beginning. And then they figured it out.
Well, I mean, for Zach Wilson to throw for over 175 yards would be, I feel like, improvement at this point. So,
well, statistically, you would be wrong. Outside of one game with New England. So that's what I think's funny, is that Zach Wilson sits down for 3 weeks and then all of a sudden he's become Achilles Smith. That's where the narrative on this is so funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
How much did Vegas care? No, from Mike White to Zach Wilson, how much did they care?
How much?
Half a point. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That is it.
But I thought we were all on the Mike White bandwagon. What
I
happened?
am on the Mike White bandwagon. I don't care about the offense. That's where everybody's missing this. I could care less really what Zach Wilson does as long as he doesn't turn it over. There's no team in the NFL that matches up better with the Detroit Lions than the Jets do defensively to that offense. There's no mismatch. At any point are you going to catch a mismatch? And Jared Goff outside.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep saying that until I'm blue in the face. Do you remember the Rams game against Pittsburgh?
Mm-hmm.
It was the last time he played outside when it was below 30 degrees. I want to say he was 5 of 19 and had 6 turnover-worthy throws in 19.
Mm-hmm.
This one's comical to me. J-E-T-S, Jets.
Chief, where do you land?
This game's a pick, right?
1.5.
It is a 1.5 point spread.
And it moved
Detroit.
to 1 on the Detroit lean anyway, and then it moved
So
another half.
Detroit's getting 1.5?
Detroit is a 1.5 point favorite. They're given 1.5.
Oh.
On the road at the New York Jets.
You know my theory on betting with the Lions.
Yes.
That has not worked out very well for me this year.
Which
At
is
least
why
not
I'm saying
at least not in the last 5 weeks.
And the thing is, I like the Lions. I really do. I just have bad luck when I go with the Lions.
Which is why I'm sitting here going, do it.
Had I gone with the Lions, I'd be in much better shape in this little contest that we're in. But no, I'm with Jeremy on this one just because I don't like Goff on the road outdoors. Same exact thing. If
it's
they were in Detroit,
I'd be taking Detroit.
Yeah. But no, bad weather, outdoors, on the road. Jets need it much. Well, they both need it. Let's face it. They both need it.
Well, they both need it, but Detroit has 3 games after this that they could sleepwalk through, and the Seattle Seahawks are catching on fire in front of them, as are the New York Giants. I'll stick with what you said originally. The Jets have to have this game or the season is over.
I'd feel better if White was under center, but Buffalo put some licks on him.
Yeah.
So
if he were playing in this game, if Mike White was the quarterback of the New York Jets, I would be on the New York Jets. I'm not going to be with Zach Wilson. I will go against the Jets. I will say the Detroit Lions win this thing. It's going to be close. I'm not saying they're going to come out and they're just going to be able to have circus act all over the place. That's not going to happen.
Nobody has, so why would Detroit?
Of course, but this is going to be, if I can get an average performance out of Jared Goff, I think the running game and the grittiness of this team is, I think they're good enough. I think they're good enough to score enough points because the Jets have not proven that they can score points. And it'll be like a 24-22.
If you take away the last 4 weeks, the Detroit Lions were headed to being a historically bad defense in the NFL. And I've told you they're improved.
Mm-hmm.
Can the Jets score 17 points?
Maybe.
I don't think I need anything more than that. I don't. By the way, you want a real hammer bet? Take the under. Aggressively.
What is it?
44.5, I think.
44.5.
I just had it pulled up on my screen.
That does
43 and a half.
It would be right on the line for me, yeah.
43 and a half. It's one of the best defenses in the league.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
In our YouTube chat, Rob Johnson said Jeremy's Jets bias is showing. Usually my Jet bias shows the other way, that I am much more cynical on my team.
Mm-hmm.
That is
now,
true.
I had the same feeling with Minnesota because we matched up well with them too. And you virtually shut down Justin Jefferson. You got the red zone 6 times, couldn't score.
Mm-hmm.
So am I telling you that it's impossible for Detroit to win? to win? No, I'm not.
I also think Wilson's playing for his career a little bit.
I do
too.
That's the other part of this.
He's playing for his career, and I think
and you got to remember,
does
this
matter.
is a cocky kid too. This is a cocky kid that just got his bottom spanked for the first time in his entire life, and I think there's a merit to that. I'm not telling you he's good.
I was going to say,
I will tell you he's got a cannon and two really fast receivers, and I don't see anybody for Detroit that can keep up with him.
I was going to say the question becomes how does he respond to that? Does he respond to that with pulling together a good performance, or does he just pout his way through it?
I will lean to the former, not the latter.
Okay, I would be the opposite. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. The Carolina Panthers take on the Pittsburgh Steelers tomorrow or on Sunday. We'll talk about that game next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cold numbers this weekend with lows down into the 20s. Believe it or not, it gets even colder before Christmas in the long-range forecast. 28 degrees are low in the valley tonight with mid-20s in the higher elevations and low 20s. Mostly sunny and cold this weekend. Highs in the 30s and 40s this weekend. Lows down in the 20s. Record cold for us is in the single-digit territory, and we might be heading that direction for right before Christmas. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and US 1923 exit 4A. 240 eastbound stop and go between exit 3 and exit 4A. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound is stop and go between Hendersonville Road and Bavard Road. 40 westbound crawling between the 26-240 split Malfunction Junction and Smoky Park Highway. 40 westbound Haywood County crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road northbound slowing approaching Long Shoals Road to Mills Gap Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road is slow northbound approaching Long Shoals Road. Again, Bavard Road northbound slow between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Sardis Road moving from Sand Hill Road to Bavard Road, heavy delays. Smoky Park Highway southbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by KFC. Brought to you by KFC's $5 Famous Bowl. Gift yourself something extra tasty this holiday season. Packed with creamy mashed potatoes and cheese and gravy, all for just $5. That's finger-licking good.
This holiday ad will be over in 27 seconds. Unlike the new Duracell battery with Power Boost ingredients that can last 19,976 seconds in your kid's RC motorcycle, or 6,801 seconds on your beard trimmer for this year's family photo, or 15,172 seconds on your electric frother for some holiday eggnog, and many more seconds to get more out of your holiday season. Duracell, unlike this ad, engineered for more.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zack with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Anything like silence from the champion. Yeah. Tells you everything you need to know.
I was the winner of the belt contest last week. He won. I mean,
he won Beat the Chief. We're playing Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief Zack here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and it's always brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of eXp Realty. Go to clarissasellswnc.com. Picking each and every NFL game against the spread and the Carolina Kitty Cats. The Panthers are at home at Bank of America Stadium against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Carolina's a 3-point favorite.
Might be Mason Rudolph, might be Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah. And that's why I'm on the Panthers, and I feel gross saying it.
I don't.
Really?
I don't feel gross saying it in the least.
This was one of those that I went back and forth in my head over and over and over about.
I don't feel gross about it in the least. And I hope they play Mason Rudolph. Please do that. Because he is awful. Carolina Panthers, and I don't think it's close. I think they dog walk them.
Really?
Yeah. Pittsburgh has nothing left to play for. You got two backup quarterbacks that are awful going up against a top 10, 12 defense in the league. Good luck with that. But DJ Watt, yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's fun. I'm not so much worried about that.
See, that's the only drawback for me is Sam Darnold. And I get that I don't have anything to go on since Sam Darnold has taken over as the starter to make me go, yeah, I really doubt this. But I've seen the Sam Darnold train go off the tracks before.
He's not making mistakes. He's not turning the ball over, and I think that's the difference in this game.
And
if he stays clean, I don't see the Panthers having much difficulty getting past the Steelers.
And we're focusing on the run, and how is Pittsburgh going to score easily? They're not. They're not going to. So, I look, it was gross to me. You guys are confident about it, and that makes me feel better about my pick. Although I will just point out, we have now all swept on the Carolina Panthers minus the 3, and that doesn't typically go the way we want it to. So, sorry about that, Carolina Panthers fans. You'll be able to hear that game, though, on our sister station, News Radio 570, WWNC, on Sunday afternoon. Kansas City and the Houston Texans. Well, we didn't get a Dallas cover last week. Chief,
oh, no, but you're going to get a Kansas City cover this week.
Chief was the smart one that went with the Houston Texans plus the 17.5 against the Dallas Cowboys. We should have known better.
Let's see if he has the fortitude to do it now that we know there will be no Derek Stingley Jr., no Damian Pierce, no Brandon Cooks, and no Nico Collins.
Who's left?
Chris Moore.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're asking me fantasy questions, Chris Moore is a formidable pickup this week because I don't know if they have another receiver left on the team.
Somebody's got to get the yards, and it might as well be Chris Moore. Kansas City's a 14-point favorite, and I'm going with the heavy favorite again.
Me too. This won't be close.
Yeah, I mean, just too many injuries on the Texans side of the ball. However, if they were healthy,
and Dallas
would have taken them points.
And Dallas did a great job last week of going, hey, Kansas City, they're still an NFL team. And if you let them, they will keep it competitive.
They will hang around with you. Absolutely. Kansas City's not going to be surprised by anything they find against the Houston Texans, although maybe they will be. Maybe they'll be surprised at just how bad this team can be with nobody playing on the field. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, they'll be hosting the Cowboys this weekend. And Dallas is a 4-point favorite.
I say we defer to Asheville Police Chief Zack.
Cowboys just squeaked by, didn't they?
They did. They did.
Trevor Lawrence playing much better. Cowboys.
Simple,
just
sweet,
feel
elegant.
better.
I like it
about the Cowboys.
Not so fast, my friend. Trevor Lawrence is playing phenomenal football. I don't like. Look, I think this is the shootout game of the week. This is the game I want pieces of. I want elements of this in DFS and all of the other things. I think Jacksonville wins, and I think they win convincingly. Because I cannot figure out how in the world the Dallas Cowboys are supposed to stop you.
Mm-hmm. Trevor Lawrence will have a big day.
I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a big day.
They will not be able to get after him, make him uncomfortable.
I like
Is that what you're saying?
I do.
Okay. All right. I do see a path for that. I mean, I see a path where Dallas goes in here and they are able to get enough pressure to make Trevor uncomfortable. But I don't care. I'm with you, Jeremy, on this one. Jacksonville plus the 4. Look, if it were less, maybe I would take Dallas to cover. But you're going to give me more than a field goal? Okay, I'll take that.
Here's the other part of this that nobody seems to be talking about. Doug, he seems to know this Cowboy team reasonably well.
He's got
I would say
some,
he knows this
definitely
personnel.
had some success there.
I would say he knows this personnel pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got
and
you
they need
there.
to win bad.
All right, Chief.
In fantasy, who do you start, Lawrence or Cousins?
Trevor Lawrence. I think pretty convincingly, actually.
I'm asking this for a reason.
My first,
Clearly,
my first thought was Trevor, but it's close.
It's not close to me. Trevor Lawrence is a top 6 quarterback for me this week. Might be my quarterback in battle for the belt.
And against Indianapolis, Kirk's not?
No.
Oh, okay.
Kirk's not a top 6 quarterback for me virtually ever. He's usually in that 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 range.
Yep.
Trevor has full-on activated dog status.
I think it's going to be a highly entertaining game, and Jacksonville's making a push here at the end. I'll take them plus the points. Dallas may win this game, but I think it's going to be terribly close. The Denver Broncos and the Arizona Cardinals kick off the 4 o'clock slate. And get this, folks, we're going to have a quarterback matchup of Colt McCoy
and Brett Rippon.
Kyler Murray's done. And then you got Russell Wilson, concussion protocol. He can't play.
Nope.
So you got the backup quarterback starting for these 2 god-awful teams.
Under by a lot.
Yeah.
One of these teams is really good defensively, and one of them is bad,
Yes,
which
indeed.
is why I'm taking the Denver Broncos.
That's exactly where I went as well, and for the reason that I went there.
Same thing. Better defense, horrible quarterbacks. Go with the better D.
Yep. Denver Broncos to cover the 3. New England Patriots, Las Vegas Raiders. The
Wait,
Master.
say the game again.
New England Patriots, Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah. I keep having to hear that, and when I tell you what I'm doing here, it sounds weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna.
You got student versus the teacher, and to me, I don't like really either of these teams the way that they're playing right now. Las Vegas is the more talented team.
By a lot.
Should feel confident that Las Vegas is going to be able to win this game, but I'm just not. To me, these types of games come down to coaching, and I'm going to take Bill Belichick over Josh McDaniels every time.
There are certain teams, certain coaches, certain quarterbacks that when I see Vegas is 6-1 betting against them, that my little ears perk up. And that's where we're at here. Because the money in this game is 86-14 on the Las Vegas Raiders.
Really?
Tickets are almost identical. That tells me that there is some heavy weight on the Raiders. I don't know why. I can't really figure out where the matchup is until I start. Okay, so who has the better quarterback? Las Vegas. Raiders. Who has the better running back?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Who has the better receiving core?
Las Vegas.
Who has the better pass rushers? Oh, now I get it. Oh, now I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Raiders minus the 1.5. Chief?
This was one of the tougher ones I had this week. Patriots are still in the hunt.
Yes, they are.
And that's important. Belichick seems to dial it up in games like this, but for everything Jeremy is saying on just the weapons and so forth. I don't like it, but I'm going with the Raiders as well. I'm not comfortable with this at all.
Yeah, all right. I'm not very comfortable with it either. But I will take Bill Belichick, like I said, over Josh McDaniels every day of the week, twice on Sundays. And that's when they're playing the game, is on Sunday, so I'll do it twice. New England plus the 1.5 for me, Jeremy and the Chief on the favorite in this game, and the home team, the Las Vegas Raiders. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Still 2 games to go in the 4 o'clock slate on Sunday, plus we got the primetime games to pick coming up next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving is slow, 240 westbound between Tunnel Road and exit 4A. 240 eastbound crawling between Brevard Road and exit 4A. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound is slow between Hendersonville Road and Brevard Road. 40 westbound delays between 26-240 Split and Smoky Park Highway. Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound in the Arden area, approaching Hendersonville Road, delays. Hendersonville Road, north and southbound, approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound, approaching Long Shoals Road, delays. Again, Brevard Road northbound is slow between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Smoky Park Highway southbound, approaching Sand Hill Road, slow. I'm Lyndon Phil with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by KFC. Brought to you by KFC's $5 Famous Bowl. Gift yourself something extra tasty this holiday season. Packed with creamy mashed potatoes, crispy chicken, corn, cheese, and gravy, all for just $5. That's finger-licking good.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Jamie's log. Progressive. The Harrington's backyard. Day 4, 2:18 a.m. I've been camping outside the Harrington house for 4 days now, proving that Progressive has 24/7 protection. Mr. Harrington says I don't need to do this, since Progressive protects 24/7 is a pretty easy concept to grasp, but I'm going to stay and prove my point. Besides, there's a big tree branch over the roof, and I think it's planning something.
Progressive doesn't just offer a great price when you bundle home and auto. We offer round-the-clock protection. Just not literally from Jamie. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers, and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
This week at Target, score low prices and great deals on everything you need for the holidays. Find deals on must-have toys and the latest tech. Plus, save on clothing, small appliances, floor care, and so much more. And get festive faster by choosing free order pickup, free drive-up, or same-day delivery when you order at Target.com or on the Target app. Deals so good, you can holiday your way. Only at Target.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
The Ingles Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at Asheville Outlets as a reminder of the needs of so many families in western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingles locations. Donate online or at the Ingles Giving Tree at Asheville Outlets so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in western North Carolina. Please help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this season.
Okay, yeah, Jeremy won, all that kind of stuff. We got games to do, and we ain't got a lot of time to do them in.
Yeah, notice he never cuts himself off.
No, I would never do that. All right. And this is Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief David Zack, brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of EXP Realty. Go to ClarissaSellsWNC.com. And the Los Angeles Chargers take on the Tennessee Titans. Los Angeles, a 3-point favorite at home. And after their win last week and the recent struggles of the Tennessee Titans, I got to go Chargers here.
Mr. Zack.
I'm on the Chargers as well. I like the way they're going.
Good. I have a rule with the Chargers. If you both take them, I'm going to go the other way. Because anytime you trust them, they'll let you down. Give me the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, it's not going to be a fun one.
Derrick Henry's rushing yards, 418 jillion. Worst rush defense in the league. Big old running back that needs to get on track.
Yep.
Good.
It is a meeting of the wills here. One that is not going to be pretty at all. And I'm still going to watch it because I'm a glutton for punishment. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting the Cincinnati Bengals.
Your team is awful.
Yeah.
And their team is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Uh-huh.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Bengals back to like one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the league.
Yep.
Bucks are not.
Yep.
And yet, they're still only catching 3.5.
I don't even kind of understand that. This line could have been 23, and I would have taken it.
Pretty girls, alcohol, and Tom Brady. 3 things that make smart men stupid.
Cincinnati minus the 3.5 across the board. Washington Commanders and the New York Football Giants go up against each other on Sunday Night Football this week.
One team is ascending. One team is in a free fall.
Mm-hmm.
And the team in a free fall is the one on the road. I wish this line was a little lower. Because this is the game that I laid on the longest because I could easily see a path that Washington wins this by a field goal. But I can't trust the Giants here just because I don't know how they're going to score. So for me, it's the Washington Commanders.
Yep, Washington minus the 4.5 for me.
I'm with you guys.
Another full sweep. And then Monday Night Football.
You don't do that right.
I know I don't.
Monday Night Football.
I just do it that way to make fun of you.
Yeah, that's fine.
The Green Bay
You still
Packers.
laugh every time I do it.
Of course I do. The Green Bay Packers and the Los Angeles Rams. Green Bay is a 7-point favorite. The LA Rams are horrible. I get the Green Bay Packers aren't much better. But Romeo Dubs returning this week.
Yay.
Oh, I'm taking Green Bay. I didn't even think about it for a second.
Yeah, I did. You know who loses this game? We the people.
We the people.
That are forced to watch this on Monday Night Football. Baker Mayfield is enough of a spark. He's played in the cold. I don't think either of these teams are good, but I won't be shocked if you see the spark carry. I still think Green Bay wins, but 7 is a lot. When I get 2 bad teams and one of them's catching a full touchdown, yeah, I'm going that way.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Rams.
All right, Rams plus the 7 for Jeremy. I'm on Green Bay to cover the 7. Chief, which way are you going to glean?
Yeah, the whole Baker Mayfield thing, I'm not that was a one and done. I think Packers just rolled right over the top of them.
Yep.
If you had told me one person would be on Baker Mayfield and it would be me,
that's shocking to me.
Would have said you have a drinking problem.
All right, enjoy the games this weekend. This has been Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief David Zack, brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of EXP Realty. Go to ClarissaSellsWNC.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cold numbers this weekend with lows down into the 20s. Believe it or not, gets even colder before Christmas in the long-range forecast. 28 degrees our low in the valley tonight with mid-20s in the higher elevations and low 20s. Mostly sunny and cold this weekend. Highs in the 30s and 40s this weekend. Lows down in the 20s. Record cold for us is in the single-digit territory, and we might be heading that direction for right before Christmas. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow 240 westbound between Tunnel Road and exit 4A. 240 eastbound crawling between Brevard Road and exit 4A. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound is slow between Hendersonville Road and Brevard Road. 40 westbound delays between 26-240 Split and Smoky Park Highway. Haywood County 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276.
This report is sponsored by Tyson Furniture.
At Tyson Furniture, we have a huge selection of furniture, honest values, and great service. We are a big store, and Black Mountain has wonderful restaurants and interesting shops to explore. Visit us at Tyson Furniture in Black Mountain, where beautiful homes begin.
Looking for holiday gifts that won't be re-gifted? Head to eBay Motors. With millions of parts and accessories at the right prices, there's something for every car lover on your list. And with the money you save, you can pick up something for yourself, too. Happy holidays indeed. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Zach Wilson is the Jets' starting quarterback for Sunday's game against the Lions. Mike White has fractured ribs and was not cleared by team doctors. Jets head coach Robert Saleh.
This can be a great opportunity for Zach. When he was elevated to the number 2 quarterback, it was with the understanding that there's a strong possibility that he was going to play, and to prepare accordingly. He's gotten vast majority of the first team reps.
Robert Saleh. Wilson will get back on the field after his benching and being inactive for the last 3 weeks. Russell Wilson is out for the Broncos Sunday against the Cardinals after a concussion. Brett Rippon will start. Seahawks wideout Tyler Lockett will have surgery on his broken hand. He hopes to play again in the regular season. Seattle is 7-7 and still in the playoff race. Brittany Griner posts on Instagram today how good it feels to be home and her gratitude to everyone who helped. Griner also says she intends to play for the Phoenix Mercury in 2023 when she hopes to thank everyone in person.
Coming up on Monday, the Packers still have an outside chance of making the playoffs, but will this be the last chance for Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay? We'll discuss that on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Monday morning, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It's a football Friday here in the Sportsocracy. ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400, youtube.com/The Sportsocracy. You can watch us, you can hear us everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, or watch us anywhere you go on your smart device, whatever it should be.
Shad?
Shad be. Did
Shad
I say
be?
shad?
You said shad.
I said shad, and that was not something that I meant to say. But whatever shad means.
We're in full Christmas mode.
Absolutely. Checked out.
Just Christmas party tonight. Tomorrow, next week's our last week. You know, it's just okay.
We're almost there. We're almost there.
I haven't taken a week off all year. This will be the first one I've taken off this entire year.
Neither have I, my friend. And it's been a long year. Long year, but it's been a wonderful year of growth here in the Sportsocracy with all of you who have subscribed to the channel and have supported us through all of our endeavors. We cannot thank you enough for all of that. There will be plenty of time for all of the thank yous and such later on. But first, I mean, it is a football Friday, and it's time for the Daily Draft. At the top of the third hour of the program, we always get the Daily Draft in here, and for the best Christmas movie draft, for as bad as that didn't go my way, it went that way yesterday for Jeremy Greene. Because you cannot have a worst of Christmas movies list with two of the many people's top 10 Christmas movies on it and think that's going to go your way.
Oh, I didn't care if it went my way.
He just wanted to throw the shade and watch everybody spin their wheels.
It didn't hurt anything, but I also fully believe that. So those movies are terrible.
Yeah.
But they will be in our 32 movie bracket next week for the best Christmas movie of all time.
Absolutely, they have to be. If you missed yesterday's show, we did the worst Christmas movies of all time, and Jeremy's number 1 was A Christmas Story, and number 2 was Elf. Like, I get Elf. I do not get A Christmas Story at all.
So bad. It's so bad.
Oh, man. Anyway, as we do on a Friday, we'll talk about best places to be this weekend in the football world. And with the win yesterday, I'll take the number 1 pick on the day. And
why do I feel like you're going to get this wrong?
Like I'm going to get it wrong?
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay.
Because there's one clear answer to me, and I don't know why, but I don't feel like it's what you're about to say.
Really? There's one game that sticks out to you above all others.
Above all others, and it's not even kind of close.
Well, here's the thing.
And I feel like you're about to say the Frisco Bowl between North Texas and Boise State.
Stop that. There's. I mean, I would have chosen the Bahamas Bowl, but it's already
today.
happened. So I can't choose the Bahamas Bowl. I really like the Bahamas, and I would really like to go back. But the number 1 pick for me this week in the NFL, it's close, but I think I'm going to L.A. I want to see the Chargers and the Titans because this is a Chargers team that is, I feel like, getting a rhythm going, but they still have that one problem. You are suspect against the run, and you're going up against the machine of Derrick Henry.
Who has not been good.
I get that he hasn't been good, but that means he's due. And he's going up against the worst run defense in the NFL. The rest of the defense, it's got its suspect points as well, and I think this is going to be a shootout.
Yeah, I said that there was one clear answer, and I said I felt like you were about to not say it, and you didn't.
And you didn't.
I have no issue with that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be drastically warmer than where I'm headed.
See, and that played a factor into the games I chose.
I say it didn't for me because I am all aboard the train of the snow globe game between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins.
Okay. Congratulations. Go freeze your snarglies off.
Well, I mean, I think we've all, I believe the years we've been doing this, you have learned that I am borderline impervious to cold. It doesn't matter how cold it gets.
Yeah, but
I'm in shorts constantly.
Yeah, but you're also a spoiled sports fan now.
Oh, no doubt.
So you're going to have to be in a suite for this.
Well, I mean, I thought that was understood. Money is no option, so of course I'm going to be in the suite.
Ah, nice.
I'll be in a suite in any one of these games. I don't sit in the high rises with the plebes. That's not how this goes.
That's great. That's great. I'm just glad to hear you say it.
Yeah, I'm not sitting in row 247 at any of these.
Yeah. It's a great choice for game of the week.
I will be interested to see how much. I think you're going to learn a lot. And I know that's weird to say in a game that's forecast to be in the middle of a blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to have to see how Miami adjusts to this. I mean, look, you're not necessarily going to play in another game like this, but you're going to play in the cold. You're probably going to see snow again.
Yep.
It may not be like this. But the old adage about snow is that snow mitigates speed. Well, Miami's predicated on speed. Virtually every positive you can say about their offense is about how fast they are.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a lot of guys on this team that are from warm weather places, played at warm weather colleges, and now you're going into a snow globe. I don't think there is a path that Miami wins this game. I will be incredibly impressed if you can just stay competitive. Because I don't know if you see it the same way I do. This has 55-6 written all over it to me.
Really?
I could see Buffalo absolutely beating their brains out mercilessly.
I mean, I could if it weren't going to be a snow globe. I don't see you.
How many
putting up
times
that
have you
many
watched
points.
Buffalo and New England do this to teams where I'm used to this, you're not?
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have we seen that? And this is one of those games where, I owe you one because you got one over on me that you did not deserve by any stretch of the imagination in your balmy Miami surroundings.
Right.
Where the heat got to me, there were a lot of cramp issues, and now I'm going to swing my weight around because you're not used to how cold it is.
Yeah, see, I could see this being a 29-6 kind of a game.
That is also scattered, smothered, and covered.
Absolutely. But I don't see them putting up 100 in the snow.
Maybe I'm biased because I saw Tom do it too many times.
Maybe you are.
But this has blowout written all over it to me.
Yes.
Now this is where it gets close to me. Because I did have your game on the list of ones that I would take second.
I mean, just because you want to see how many points the Cincinnati Bengals can score?
No, the game you took.
No. I was like, why on earth would you want to see that?
No, I would be taking the Lending Tree Bowl over your game. Apologies for the confusing terminology there. No, I'm going to take a game that's a lot of people think it's lost its interest. I think it's wildly more interesting now. I'm taking my Jets and the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
This game is wildly more interesting to me now. I mean, Stephen A. Smith said this morning. Zach Wilson is playing for his career. You now get a 2-game tryout that if you crash this ship into the rocks, you're probably doing the exact same thing to your career.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have done everything to just blow up your trade value. You've had a career backup come in and show you up. And another last 7 years backup do the exact same thing. But what if it doesn't? What if you see the magic that you saw against the Tennessee Titans? You and I watched that game together last year.
Mm-hmm.
Hit Corey Davis with just a massive bomb. What if you see that guy? Then what happens? I think that's actually more problematic for the Jets than if they lose. Right now, I feel like you have a path with Mike White. Everybody knows it. It's very obvious. You just have to have the cojones to move off of your mistakes.
So you don't want Zach Wilson to give you a reason?
I mean, I can't say that. I don't have to make the decision.
Right.
I feel like if you could get Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh in a room, what is your ideal scenario for the next 7 days? This day next week after you play the Jacksonville Jaguars, what is your ideal scenario? And it is we win both games in spite of Zach Wilson. We're still in the playoff hunt, and now we can full sail. It's Mike White's team. In the offseason, we're moving off Zach Wilson. It was a mistake, but we have the quarterback of the future. Any other scenario has its set of problems.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Zach Wilson's going to give it to you. I really don't. I don't know that he has that gear in him to rally after being benched and embarrassed, and because this is what this is. This is an embarrassment for a young kid.
I could count on one hand the number of top 5 picks I've ever seen benched like this in their first 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's part of Robert Saleh and part of Joe Douglas that didn't want to do it. But then you did.
You had to.
And it went exactly how the team knew it was going to go. But now it's a question of, can Zach rally the team? Zach knows every receiver wants Mike White. And so are you this cocky, brash kid that's going to suck his thumb and sit in the corner and pout? Or are you going to be a type A personality that goes, I know you don't want me here, and I don't care because I'm not going to give you a reason to send me back to the bench?
Yeah, the problem is I think you get that guy that shows up, the cocky kid who has the axe to grind, has the thing to prove, and then he will throw 6 interceptions and just be awful. Because he's trying too hard, because he's just not that good. I could fully see them going down that path. It is going to be an entertaining game. To me, the intrigue really didn't change. I thought this was going to be a great matchup, defense, strength on strength, offense versus defense, and we'll see what the flip side can do. I'm going to be really tuned in when Detroit's offense is on the field and Detroit's offense is on the field and Detroit's defense is on the field. The rest of the game, I don't know. All right, so you got Miami, Buffalo, Detroit, and the New York Jets. Man, I can't talk today. My next pick, I'm going to go another place where it's not so frigid cold. We just talked about one.
Are you being sure to watch out for your fragile sensibilities?
Yes, I am. I run colder than usual these days, and I want to see some warm weather. I might want to see some palm trees. I'm going to go to L.A. this weekend, and I'm also going to go down to Jacksonville, Florida for the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Dallas Cowboys. Just like that Detroit-Dallas game, you got one team should be in the playoffs. I consider the Jets a should be in the playoffs kind of a team. And you got the upstart coming in trying to prove a point. You got Detroit on one side, and the Jacksonville Jaguars in this scenario. Jacksonville and Dallas, I think it's going to be I don't want to say great, but it's going to be very entertaining.
It's game. Also DFS lineups. I'm going to be really honest with you. I have a lot of Dallas-Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm. You're going up and down the field. It's going to be high scoring. I mean, over under 60 to me. And I want to be there to see it. So I'm going to Jacksonville.
I fit better in Jacksonville than you do.
Oh, 100%.
Mullets and jorts. Let's go.
I just want to be able to wear shorts again. 60 degrees, beach atmosphere, maybe I can get some shorts time in with this one. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. It's time to take a break. I'll think about my next pick as we decide where we're going to go this weekend. If money were no option, what games would you be at? You're in the Sportsocracy inside the Ingles Studio.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 240 westbound between Tunnel Road and US 1923 exit 4A. An accident at Merriman Avenue in the stretch does have the shoulder blocked. Future 26 eastbound stop and go between Riverside Drive and 240. 26 westbound slowing west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound slow between Hendersonville Road and Brevard Road. 40 westbound again slow between the 26-240 split Malfunction Junction and George's Branch Road. 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Sardis Road northbound is slow between Brevard Road and Sand Hill Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweden Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road northbound slow approaching Long Shoals Road. I'm Lynn Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mucinex Fast Max Cold and Flu All-in-One. Skip the symptoms, not the celebration.
Celebrate comeback season with Mucinex Fast Max Cold and Flu All-in-One. Its maximum strength formula tackles up to 9 cold and flu symptoms. Try Mucinex All-in-One and get $5 cash back to celebrate your comeback. Visit fastmaxcashback.com to learn more. Use as directed.
Holiday shopping is exhausting. I hit like 30 stores already. You?
I went to Verizon.
Oh, and?
And that's it.
Seriously?
Seriously. I got the new iPhone 14 Pro on Verizon, plus more Apple gifts like Apple Watch SE, iPad, and Beats Fit Pro, also on Verizon. A value of up to $1,900.
Seriously?
Yeah, the iPhone 14 Pro is perfect for my teenager. Its new Pro camera system takes amazing pictures, even in low light. She's gonna love it.
So who gets the Apple gifts?
Oh, the Apple gifts? I'm keeping those for myself.
Kinda like a finder's fee?
More like a holiday miracle.
Seriously.
This holiday, get to your Verizon store for their best deal of the year. A service plan is required for gifts. 5G phone, up to $999.99 device payment purchase or full retail purchase with newer upgrade smartphone line required. Less up to $1,000 trade-in promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for offer details. Up to $1,900 value based on iPhone, Apple Watch, iPad, and Beats.
The Ingles Giving Tree benefiting Manna Food Bank will be on display at Asheville outlets. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all local Ingles locations or donate online. Help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this season.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
It is ESPN Asheville. It is the Sportsocracy, and this is the Daily Draft. Where are you going to go? If money is no option, where would you be this weekend in the football world? And first pick went to me. I took Tennessee and L.A., the Chargers and the Titans. Jeremy goes Miami, Buffalo, and then Detroit and the Jets. So he really wants to be cold this weekend. I am sticking with the warmer weather environs, as I will be in L.A., and I will also be in Jacksonville as the Dallas Cowboys take on the Jaguars. And then after that, it gets real close.
Difficult.
Yeah, it's there are some close matchups here, I guess is the best way to put that. But I think next on my list is the Giants and the Commanders. NFC East battles are always tough. They're always entertaining. They go down to the wire. Now, I don't know if the Giants are going to be able to find some offense against this improving Washington Commanders defense. And I think the Commanders probably get everything they want in this game. But I still think it's going to be a battle worth seeing. So I will go Sunday Night Football, Giants Commies.
Oh, it irks me so much that you call them that.
Still don't know why.
Because it should be Commandos. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to. I'm taking 2 college games back to back.
Ooh.
I'm going to the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Cincinnati and Louisville. The old keg of nails. Really, the intrigue here is all about Scott Satterfield. It's all about Scott Satterfield.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he left Louisville to go to Cincinnati, there's been a lot of smack talk about him. Who steps up? And I feel like it's Louisville steps up to show his new team he was holding us back. This is it's at Fenway, which I don't love that we do this, but if we're going to do it, I don't want to watch it on television, but I would like to be there if I could ever get into the stadium because the traffic pattern in Boston is maddening.
That's why you just have to take the train.
Oh, it's grid pattern. It's awful. It's just, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you've never been there. Every road goes one way.
Mm-hmm.
And if you miss the one-way road you needed to take, it'll take you 4 hours to figure out how to get back to where you started. But I think there is some intrigue in that.
Yes, there is.
The other one, it's Washington State, Fresno State, in the Jimmy Kimmel L.A. Bowl. Jake Hayner's last game, Cameron Ward's last game. The fact that this over-under is only 53 is comically stupid to me. This should be 73 at the minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to take the easy money at betus.com, and I think it will be fun to watch.
Well, I'm glad you went down the college path, because I'm going to go down the college path as well. And, I said I want to stay warm. I want warm places. And what could be warmer, really, than Albuquerque, New Mexico, right? Wrong. The New Mexico Bowl this weekend with SMU taking on BYU, two respectable teams.
Another take the over.
The weather is not going to be warm and fuzzy.
Cold.
It's going to be 35 degrees.
Mm-hmm. New Mexico gets cold.
Yeah. Anyhow, SMU, BYU, that could be a fun one. I think that was on my best of list, wasn't it?
It was. And that one, it won't be bad.
I'll see a shootout.
At least we got a full day of Saturday football, which I'm relatively intrigued by. How many minutes of bowl games will you watch compared to the 3 NFL games?
Oh, it'll be
4-1, 5-1.
I was going to say 20-1. Wow,
even higher than me.
I don't foresee having a lot. It depends on how interesting the games are, because I'm back and forth. I'm gonna keep flipping, and if you can keep me entertained, then I will watch more. If not, then it's not gonna be pretty. All right. So after SMU BYU, I guess my last pick. You know what? I happen to like boat races. And there is no other place to be for a boat race this weekend than the stadium that has a boat in it. Let's go down to Tampa Bay and see the Cincinnati Bengals just destroy the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They will carve apart that defense, and you will see god-awful Tom Brady once again. I'm actually to the point now where I'm being entertained by the Tom Brady's not the problem crowd.
I'm entertained by Vegas that just refuses to see the writing on the wall with Tampa Bay.
Right. He's not the sole reason, but he is a big reason why this team is god-awful.
Yeah, this is not going to go your way.
Cincinnati might set records.
I'm only going to say this one time. If you're playing in the battle for the belt, Jamar Chase, you're welcome. Especially if there's no T. Higgins. He's on track to play, but if he doesn't, shoo buddy. I'm actually shocked you did that, because there's one game on the board that I actually am intrigued by, in spite of the fact it's one good team and one bad team.
Okay.
U.S. Bank Stadium. I'm going to see the Indianapolis Colts and the Minnesota Vikings.
Why?
Because there is a path that Jonathan Taylor can keep Indy in it. And if they do, it's going to tell me everything I need to know about Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
That Minnesota belongs in that Jet Lion, yes, you're competitive, yes, you're good, but you're not really competitive for anything next level. I already don't think Minnesota belongs in that Dolphin 49er Cincinnati Bengal tier. And if this is ever in doubt, it will confirm that for me. This is a game where you have to absolutely crush their will immediately. They have an analyst masquerading as a head coach, a quarterback that's masquerading as an NFL player. There's one legitimate weapon that actually worries you. You can't let this stay close. This has to be an annihilation. And I'm afraid it's not going to be.
Now, Minnesota is a team that always flirts with disaster. They have forever. Can they blow some teams out? From time to time. But I would say, 85% of the time, this team, they may win the game, but it'll come down to the last second, or it may come down to the last couple of possessions. I would agree with you, Jeremy, but I'm kind of shocked to hear you say it, because I'm the fan of style points.
This is not a style points. This is a, if you play close with them, you're not as good as people think.
Mm-hmm. Much as you feel about Dallas last week against the Houston Texans.
There are certain games that you have to just annihilate them from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks to coaching. It speaks to a lot of things.
All right, there you have it. That's where we're going this weekend around the football world. Time for the most important message of the day, Jeremy.
Don't do crimes!
Don't do crimes. All right, so what harrowing tale of idiocy do you have for us today?
I will never understand why people think this works, especially when you get to the hook of the story. Mine's from Phoenix, Arizona. The Arizona Department of Public Safety had to put out a picture along with a description of something one of their residents had done. And they said that it was a suspicious-looking passenger in a vehicle. Apparently, there was a driver that tried to pass off an inflatable Grinch as a passenger so he could drive in the HOV lane. Excuse me. HOA is a homeowners association.
Yes. High occupancy vehicle.
Yeah. We get stories like this at least once every 3 months. We've had mannequins. At least those look like people. This is a Greene person. And you're right outside of New Mexico, which, maybe you thought you were going to pass it off as you had stolen something from Roswell. Your passenger's Greene. If you're going to do it, at least do it with something that looks like a person. Somebody did it with Superman. I at least understand that. Somebody can see that and go, oh, well, that's a person. It's a very shiny person with a cape, but it's a person. And the weirder the world gets, the less suspicious it is for somebody to be wearing a cape. It is suspicious for somebody in your passenger seat to be Greene. The driver was, of course, cited and allowed to motor on.
Okay. Well, that's something. My story is about it's about a criminal. And the criminal,
a novel concept.
And a criminal who, wanted to obviously elude police. So he did the only possible thing he could, or the smartest, I guess, thing that he thought he could do at the time. Mario Garcia, 50 years old, was found Wednesday living under an alias and operating a shrimp farm in Guatemala. According to Massachusetts State Police, this guy has been on the run from police for 31 years.
That's aggressive.
Running a shrimp farm in Guatemala. He attempted to evade capture by jumping into the water at the shrimp farm, but he was quickly taken into custody. He has been charged in the murder of another man in November of 1991 in Attleboro, Massachusetts. I mean, I guess if you got a place to hide out, shrimp farm in Guatemala seems like a good place to go.
He lived by a Jeremy philosophy. If I ever become cornered, you've heard of FAFO. I also live by FMOD.
FMOD.
Fake my own death.
Fake your own death. Or just,
I have a plan.
Find all the ways that you can, make dinner out of shrimp.
I have a plan. It's a very elaborate plan.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cold numbers this weekend with lows down into the 20s. Believe it or not, gets even colder before Christmas in the long-range forecast. 28 degrees our low in the valley tonight with mid-20s in the higher elevations and low 20s. Mostly sunny and cold this weekend. Highs in the 30s and 40s this weekend. Lows down in the 20s. Record cold for us is in the single-digit territory, and we might be heading that direction for right before Christmas. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving stop and go 240 westbound between Tunnel Road and US 1923 exit 4A. An accident at Merriman Avenue in the stretch does have the shoulder blocked. Future 26 eastbound stop and go between Riverside Drive and 240. 26 westbound slowing west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound slow between Hendersonville Road and Brevard Road. 40 westbound again slow between the 26-240 split Malfunction Junction and George's Branch Road. 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Sardis Road northbound is slow between Brevard Road and Sand Hill Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweden Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road northbound slow approaching Long Shoals Road. I'm Lynn Benfield with your...
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals start now with savings on select business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Try great tasting Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Ensure Max Protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For more information, including consumer survey details, please visit Ensure.com.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Sarah Kustok, NBA analyst for the Brooklyn Nets, and I have a new podcast called NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll be joined by one of the top NBA writers to discuss their latest stories, features, and up-to-the-minute news. Check out NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
The Ingles Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at Asheville Outlets as a reminder of the needs of so many families in Western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingles locations. Donate online or at the Ingles Giving Tree at Asheville Outlets so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in Western North Carolina. Please help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this season.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
You are in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, live from the Ingles Studio on a football Friday. And so many questions this weekend. So many narratives that will be answered at some point. Will Zach Wilson play like a big boy NFL quarterback, or will he pout and cost his team a win this week?
Mom Slayer 2, The Reckoning.
Will the Dallas Cowboys go into Jacksonville and continue to give us reason to doubt? Will Colt McCoy and Brett Rippon make your eyes bleed at 4:05 on Fox television on Sunday afternoon?
If that's the only game your television will play, turn it off and give it away.
And can the Chargers beat a team that loves to run the ball down your throat?
Derrick Henry's one of the most interesting narratives of the weekend to me.
I would agree.
Because if you can't get right in this situation, I don't know where you do.
Right. This is where we start to really consider maybe he's hit that wall. Jeremy's been saying for much like Tom Brady for the last 3 years, it feels like, that the wall is coming for Derrick Henry.
Oh, no. I haven't been saying he's hit it. I've been warning it's coming.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Because he's just now in the wheelhouse of okay, this is an unsettling number of carries, and historically this is where you start to see the drop-off.
Yes, and, you had the injury last year that was a problem, but it wasn't really a problem. Tennessee kept winning games. But the past few weeks, he just hasn't looked like the unstoppable force that he normally does. If there's going to be a team that he's going to do it against, common sense would tell you that it's the Los Angeles Chargers.
It also should tell you something that the Derrick Henry player prop has been on and off the board for 3 days. I always love it's fluctuated. I've seen it as high as 88.5. I've seen it as low as 79.5. That always tells me that, and now you run the risk here of he's hurt and somebody knows it and you don't. There's also a risk of they don't know how high to set this number to get even action on both sides.
Mm-hmm. Because I think the smart money would be on the over.
It would be, but public narrative, recent history, the fact the Chargers stopped the Miami Dolphins from running the ball, they just didn't do it. It's not that they did anything that actually stopped them.
Right. Now, he put up good numbers last week against Jacksonville. Had a 50-yard run in that game. Looked like, maybe he's coming back around. You should be able to do the same thing against these Chargers.
No doubt. He was the first player I put into DraftKings lineups. I'll be as honest about that as I can be.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is he the most expensive guy on the board this week?
Not even close.
Really?
7,900.
Oh, okay.
And I think that game could get a little shootouty.
Oh,
not a
I
lot.
agree.
Not a lot. Not super high scoring, but enough.
I could see it getting shootouty because that's the thing about Derrick Henry is if he is working, you can score almost as quickly with Derrick Henry as you can with a stellar passing offense, which we know the Tennessee Titans do not have. But as long as Ryan Tannehill can be his average old self, I feel like the Titans are going to be in this game all the way down to the end.
I took them to win it. And I think they will.
And you think they will. The Carolina Panthers, too. You think they get a win this week?
I just struggle to believe that with all the dissension, with Deontay Johnson coming out and saying that about Mason Rudolph.
Right, we laughed
and
at it.
now you're leaving it in limbo. Look, I love Mike Tomlin. I have unabashedly said that for years. I feel like you're doing this wrong. The fact that you're not naming the starter, now you're almost giving credence to what Deontay Johnson has said, which means at some root cause, there is a faction here that believes Mason Rudolph's actually better than Mr. Trubisky. To me, that is laughably stupid.
It's not that we think he's better. He might be better for the situation. Or
how?
I don't know. I don't know what you're seeing. Mason Rudolph has had his shots. Deontay Johnson.
With better teams.
This. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday, and we laughed about it. But there is something to that.
This is the Baker Mayfield syndrome. To lessen the weapons and lessen the line and lessen everything around you and expect a player to be better than they have been in the past is stupid.
Throughout the week, they've been splitting the first-team reps between Mitch Trubisky and Mason Rudolph. There's obviously a question. Deontay Johnson was just asked about his opinion, and he gave it. And I commended him yesterday for telling the truth.
And I didn't.
If the coaching staff had a strong lean one way or the other, don't you think we'd know it by now?
Well, I mean, and this is the same thing we've seen in different places in the league over the course of the last few years. The problem with that is that somebody's not going to get their way. And when you have a very young team with a slew of receivers that tend to be, I'll be nice here and say a little petulant, what happens when you don't do what they want you to do? We've already seen outbursts from George Pickens. We've seen outbursts from Deontay Johnson. I don't remember what game it was you were talking about that you didn't think about for a second. I didn't think about Carolina-Pittsburgh for a second.
Really?
soon as I saw the number, it's only a field goal.
I did. It's been the hardest. It's been the hardest one for me all week.
New England, Las Vegas was the hardest game of the week for me. Because everything in me saying it's Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
But just solely because the New England narrative is wrong. But I come back to it's Bill and Josh McDaniel. And it was hard for me to out loud say I'm taking Josh McDaniels to beat Bill Belichick.
I couldn't get there. I tried to convince myself, and I just couldn't do it.
The big difference to me is I do believe there will be some – I believe the two defensive coordinators are going to have a bit of a chess match. And at the end of the day, I get Derek Carr to solve yours. You get Mac Jones to solve mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say I'm taking the advantage there.
And then there's the other narrative of the week, which is 10 to 15 inches of snow in Buffalo.
I'm here for it.
It is going to be the snow globe bowl, the snow bowl of this year, or could be. Buffalo and Miami. And I liked Buffalo in clean weather. So it didn't really change anything I thought about this game.
I would have liked Buffalo if it was raining, snowing, sunny, on a train, eating green eggs and ham on the moon. I wouldn't have cared.
Right.
This has every bit of I owe you one, and I'm better than you.
Mm-hmm.
To me.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. You want a better solution for 2023? You want to change your life in just 1 year? Have you been struggling with a weight problem your entire life like I have? You can get results from the PhD weight loss program. In just 1 year, they helped me lose over 90 pounds. My life feels completely different than it did of Thanksgiving of last year, walking into that office weighing over 300 pounds. Now I'm just over 200 pounds, and I feel like a different person.
And this program's not just for people that have copious amounts of weight to lose. I didn't. I came in weighing just under 300 pounds at over 6'4". However, poor choices, laziness had led me to get a little chunky. Now, after just a year on this program, I'm back to my high school weight, sleeping like a baby, and all of the health problems that my weight problems had caused are gone thanks to the program and plan of PhD weight loss.
I am proof positive that if you stick to the plan, you can get the best results you've ever seen in your life. They give you 80% of the food that you need to have success on the program. It's so convenient, so easy, and they have a support system that will always keep you motivated and never leave you hanging on your own. MyPhDweightLoss.com. That's MyPhDweightLoss.com. Coming up next, it'll be time for Jeremy's Bangers of the Weekend.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow, 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and exit 4A. 240 west end eastbound slowing on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. 26 westbound slow between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound slowing between Hendersonville Road and Bavard Road. 40 westbound then slow between the 26-240 split and George's Branch Road. Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Sardis Road northbound slow between Bavard Road and Sand Hill Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Long Shoals Road moving from Overlook Road to I-26 delays. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Tyson Furniture.
At Tyson Furniture, we have a huge selection of furniture, honest values, and great service. We are a big store, and Black Mountain has wonderful restaurants and interesting shops to explore. Visit us at Tyson Furniture in Black Mountain, where beautiful homes begin.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Darnold rolling to his right, throws. Caught. Touchdown, Shi Smith.
This Sunday, the Panthers look to make it 3 straight wins. Pittsburgh Steelers come to Bank of America for a Sunday afternoon showdown. Our coverage starts at noon on the Carolina Panthers radio network. Kickoff follows at 1 p.m.
Panther football, live all season long on News Radio 570 WWNC.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals for Business start now with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything, and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Coffee still closes, homie. Get him the money! Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
It's bowl season, which means I get to do this a bunch more times over the next 6 days. We got 6 games tomorrow, slew of favorites, but I got a couple bangers for you. First, SMU is a 4-point favorite over BYU in the New Mexico Bowl. No Jaron Hall, see Tanner Mordecai. That's all I needed to know. Give me SMU minus the 4. Louisville's a 2-point favorite in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl against the Fighting Scott Satterfields of Cincinnati. I feel like this is a revenge game, and this screams Louisville doesn't just beat them, but they smoke them like a honey ham. Give me the Cardinals. The Oregon State Beavers are a 8.5-point favorite against Florida. They don't have a quarterback. Not a good one. They do not have a scholarship quarterback on the roster. 8.5's not nearly enough. Give me the Beavs minus 8.5. Fresno State's a 4-point favorite in the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl against Washington State. Jake Hayner's last game, I could see him trying to go out on a high note. He's a fringe draftable prospect. I could see him trying to get some high-level tape before he goes into the draft. But you don't pick favorites.
Underdog, 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 underdog.
Speed of lightning! Aurora Thunder Rice is a 6.5-point dog in the Lending Tree Bowl against Southern Miss. Southern Miss shouldn't be a 6.5-point favorite against a group of Girl Scouts. Rice isn't good, but this is too many points. Give me Rice. And then my favorite one of my favorite bangers of the year. Boise State's not good. North Texas has a new coach. I feel upset brewing. 10.5 points I'm catching with the mean green. Give me North Texas. I'm taking them to win outright.
The big dogs. They've been pretty successful throughout the season. Take those wagers over to betus.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy and get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put into your account up to $2,500. Bowl season has arrived. We got 3 days, of NFL football. Saturday, Sunday, and
Monday Night Football.
It's going to be a great weekend. We'll be with you on Sunday at 10 a.m. for the Fantasy Game Time Decision Show. We'll get you set for your fantasy day. Sure, Jeremy will have all of his theories.
Oh, I've got this. Look, I told you this last week. When I set my lineup, I did it in 4 minutes, and I never tinkered with it. And through 1 week, there's only one person that's clinched his spot in the finals of the Battle for the Belt, and it's this mulleted guy right here.
It's true. Jeremy won last week in the Battle for the Belt.
I'm going to do all of you a favor. Don't let me win again. Don't let me win again. You let me win both finals weeks, I walk into the finals with that advantage. Oh, good.
Again, somebody please beat this guy so we don't have to listen to it all year long, and worse, watch him walk around with the belt.
Oh, I'll have a suit made.
Oh, I know you.
I'll have a suit made to wear with the belt. I'll go full $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase.
Yes, he will, and it will be insufferable, and nobody wants to see that. So I'm rooting for all of you out there. I'm not going to do it, but somebody else needs to. I'm looking at 6 Tennessee.
Currently the only person out pointing me.
Yeah, armchair commentary. Anybody.
Eric Miller, also a very formidable.
Yeah.
Robert Johnson, also a very formidable. Adam Harris, also a very formidable. Look, there are plenty of people that can beat me. But, in the famous words of Ric Flair, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Woo!
Enjoy the football this weekend. Jeremy and I, we got a Christmas party to go to tonight. And, so we're doing the white elephant thing?
Look, I understand why people do it. There are very few things in this life that give me anxiety. The white elephant, bad Santa, whatever you want to call it. I think this is top 5 stupidest thing we do as people.
Really?
Yes, because invariably somebody is going to bring a really cool gift. I would tell you what we're bringing, but I don't know. My wife just showed up with 2 bags that have tinsel and all the things around it, and I will be as surprised when they are opened as whoever gets them. But every time I've ever played this game, I get something really cool, and then I try to slink out of the room.
Right.
So nobody knows where I am and I can keep my thing. And then I lose it. And then I get like a bag of Cheetos and a rock.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Just
I've only played with this game like 2 or 3 times in my life, and
my family loves playing this game.
One time I got the last number. One time I got the draw, so I get to pick any gift in the room.
Let me give you a really solid piece of advice. If you see an envelope, take the envelope. It's the greatest strategy to white elephant ever. Because there's one of 2 things in there. It's either straight cash, and God bless that person, or it's a gift card. Now, it could be a gift card to Starbucks, of which you could give me a gift card to a coffee shop on the moon, and I would be just as liable to use it as I would a Starbucks gift card. But I'll give it to my wife.
I was going to say, I feel like you'd 100% use that.
Starbucks?
Yeah.
I would drink the gas out of my own car before I would drink their coffee.
Really?
Yes. 100%.
Well,
I can't
cross them off the endorsement list.
Yeah, look, it's not the first time I've said that either. That is one thing. There are a ton of great coffee places around here. I have never understood that one.
I've seen you drink McDonald's coffee. But you wouldn't drink Starbucks coffee?
No, they're. I feel like they do all the frou-frou drinks. Like, look, it's got whipped cream in it. I don't like whipped cream.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got caramel in it. I don't like caramel.
Well, unlike Jeremy,
I like coffee, and I want it to be as dark as my soul is.
Unlike Jeremy, I will use a Starbucks gift card, and I will happily use a Starbucks gift card at your local Ingles supermarket. Low prices, love the savings.
Ingles coffee, also good.
Right. You got a Starbucks in most of the grocery stores nowadays, so you can get your little fancy coffee fix.
Can I use the Starbucks gift card at Ingles? Because I go to Ingles all the time, but I don't want a froofy coffee.
You could use it on a muffin or any of those things.
Give me a cup of Folgers and let's go.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Join us on Sunday for the Fantasy Game Time Decision Show, 10 a.m. And we'll be back with you Monday at 3 to recap the weekend's action.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cold numbers this weekend with lows down into the 20s. Believe it or not, it gets even colder before Christmas in the long-range forecast. 28 degrees our low in the valley tonight with mid-20s in the higher elevations and low 20s. Mostly sunny and cold this weekend. Highs in the 30s and 40s this weekend. Lows down in the 20s. Record cold for us is in the single-digit territory, and we might be heading that direction for right before Christmas. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound, light delays west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound slow between the 26-240 split, Malfunction Junction, and George's Branch Road. 40 westbound is crawling between NC 209 and US 276 in Haywood County. Merriman Avenue northbound near Edgewood Road, traffic is slowing. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Friday Health Plans. Friday Health Plans is designed for people who buy their own health insurance, with benefits like unlimited $0 primary care and mental health visits. Get a quote at FridayHealthPlans.com and see if you qualify for $10 insurance. All plans issued by Friday Health Plans of North Carolina, Inc.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
Now, sometimes it don't always work for an injury, but practice makes it perfect.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and